all mute. It's all muted. Oh my god, it's just a terrible start that we had. Terrible start, folks. I do apologize for that one, but hey man, at least we're gonna be hopping right the fuck into this shit. And shout out to everybody for turning out on this one. I left the topic up, or at least the quality, not quality, but the content of the stream up to the public on YouTube. I put the little poll out there on the community tab, and I really wish that there was one way to do that over on Rumble. Like, I could put out a Twitter poll. If you guys want that, just let me know about that, and I can definitely hop in and I can definitely pull one up there. But it kind of reminds me, well, everybody filters in. There's not going to be a very long preamble because I actually got a spare video that I do want to do on this one. I just want to tweet everything out. See if this is actually going to make a difference. Frankly, and I don't really care. Whoever turns up, and that's just what I'm about. But I'm just going to tweet this guys out so you guys talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the content that came out earlier today, and I think we're going to be in for a fun one because these Jubilee panels, at least the last one that we watched, this one could be total dog shit, and fuck if I know, but at least the recent one on Wednesday, I would encourage anybody who didn't catch that one to go back and watch that because that was a hell of a lot of fun, and hopefully we can replicate that here today. But I'm just going to tweet this out because I never do this shit anyway. Back when Eliza Blue stuff was popping off and I had an opportunity to, like, you know, tag Tim and all that kind of stuff, like, that seemed to make a difference. But every once in a while I'll throw a tweet out on a video and it's like I don't see anything really noticeably different. But I'll tweet out the Rumble and then the YouTube stream after that. So if you guys are on, I've noticed a couple of avatars between the two chats and seems to be some crossover, so you do with it what you will. Center dunk on some There we go. That should piss off the requisite amount of people. That should be good right there. There we go. Yeah, banger. I think that should get... Oh, good. And then I can probably put another one under there, just in case anybody's big gay and wants to watch over here. What do we got? What the now, how do I get... No, I don't want to tweet that part out. Analytics. We'll leave it on analytics because I think that'll be fine. Studio. How about that? Maybe that'll get me going on that. Oh, looks like you guys are enjoying that. So that's fucking pretty fantastic. Okay. No, if I go here... How about that? Will that take... Yeah, okay. That'll take me to this one. But no, I don't want to cue it. Oh my god, this is so fucking retarded. How about that? There we go. That'll be fantastic. And then we can finally get the fuck rolling. How about that? YouTube on that one. Okay. Or if you're gay and want to watch... How about that? I'll just put that if you're gay and want to watch YouTube. YouTube. There we go. That should work. Why the hell is Metallica trending? Oh god, hopefully nobody died. Looks like, oh, thank god I did that off screen, because there's some old bitch and, you know, just with her nipples popping out. Thought I'd seen enough detestable titties to, you know, just, for a lifetime, really. Yo, what up, Great Catmon? How's it going, man? Yeah, okay, yeah, George, that's the only thing that kind of sucks. Like, we've been going back and forth in the chat here for anybody else not paying attention, but it's interesting, right? Because I'm pretty sure within the next 6 months to a year, especially with the upcoming Republican primaries, like Rumble's really going to take off, and it's going to be the future. But once they get the chat on the app on the Android side, it's like, just come on, man. Just give me a chat on the Android part, and then we'll be copacetic, and we'll be fantastic. And also, I don't want to... I love Rumble, okay? I think it's the best free speech platform that's out there. It's even better than Twitter. And especially, when you compare and contrast it to YouTube, it's like there's absolutely no difference there at all whatsoever. But they're still lacking some features, some very basic features. Like I know chat's live over on Apple. So I was like, just bring it over to the fucking Android for a second, okay? I know it's happening, I know it's coming, but it's just a little bit annoying right now. So, and then, hey man, because I would love to see it. I would love to see everybody over on YouTube eventually get over to Rumble, and hey, we could definitely just party. And it's not like I say anything that's terribly different over on Rumble, but it's enough where I gotta kind of self-censor every once in a while. All I need to do now is just switch over. I just need to make sure that I can hop in the chat. It's easier for me. Okay, that's the one thing that I gotta say. Just because there's not the app that's on here, it's easier for me to be in the YouTube chat. But if these are some good videos, which I think they're going to be, it's going to be really tough to be hopping to and fro between the two. But if you guys, want to interact in the chat, even BitChute. BitChute, I couldn't get working. Here's the crazy thing, Gray. I have the channel over there. I haven't uploaded anything over there. I was trying to get in touch with the customer service because, what was it? Oh, yeah, they wouldn't let me access the account. Like, I signed up and everything, and then I tried to sign back in, and it's like, due to suspicious activity. And it's like, oh, okay, somebody's trying to hack me back when I had like a dozen or so subscribers. It's like, that would be weird. But then they never got back to me. So I have everything linked up between my YouTube account and BitChute, but I just can't get access to it. So that's the only thing. Everything gets mirrored over to Odyssey if you'd like to go watch over on Odyssey. To be completely honest, I haven't checked in over there for a very, very, very long time. Nothing against the platform. It's just Rumble has become that place. And YouTube, despite its obvious censorious flaws, is unfortunately, that's right now for my type of content, that's kind of where the money is, okay? And I'm not motivated that much by money, but then at the same time, I kind of want to get compensated for the fact that I put thousands of hours. Like for every video that you guys see up on the platform, like just regular ones, like obviously just tack on about an hour for research and, writing up the descriptions and tags for a live stream as well as the thumbnail. Like every video from concept to completion is about 3 or 4 times the length of the video. So it's like, I'm getting to a point, but there's one good thing about this. If there's any truth to that whole idea that mastery comes at 10,000 hours, you boys getting really close. So I'm eventually going to get really good at this, and you guys are in here on the ground level. So shout out to you guys for turning up on this one. I think that's enough preamble. I got everything out there. I just want to check what do we got here for people that are in here. We got a nice turnout over here. And again, Rumble, shout out to you guys. 14 people turning out over there. We got over 20 people checking in between the two platforms. I love you guys for that. Thanks for making me a part of your Saturday evening. That really does mean quite a lot. And like I said, if you guys caught the first video of the day, or I'm sorry, the last video, the first one that I would have put up, sorry, do some batch recording in the background. Like tomorrow I got a whole bunch of stuff. And for everybody that's in here right now, you get some inside look. Tomorrow is going to be heavy. Two of the videos specifically are going to be about all of those intel documents that got leaked by that 21-year-old kid, and it's like he got that high of security clearance out there. Yeah, something seems a bit off. So the first video is going to be detailing what exactly was leaked, and then after that it's going to be about the Jack Teixeira kid specifically. So that's going to be very interesting, at least in my opinion. And if not, we'll probably see some fucking tranny nonsense up at the top. So I gave a little bit of an allusion to a video that I found there as well, and shout out to Jubilee for doing some interesting stuff. Now, okay, because it was interesting, the two decisions that I gave up to the poll earlier today, it was somewhere between feminism and detransition shit. And okay, we will get to that one, but we got a short one here. It's only 20 minutes long, and what are the kids talking about when it comes to game? I'm going to put it at $1.25, because I want to hear. I do want to hear exactly which guy gets the most girls. Girls rank guys by rizz. What is rizz? It's just what the kids are calling game today, okay? It used to be, back in the early 2000s, like negging, N-E-G, not like that. Negging was the way that you go about and, you know, try to attract your girls. And back in the Mystery Method days, The Game by Neil Strauss, all that type of shit. It was all about, oh yeah, you actually wear those shoes out in public, huh? Bold move, I guess. You know, good thing that you got a pretty face to make up for, you know, your poor fashion sense. Like, that would be the way that you go. Now, it's kind of thanks to heavy Drake influence, you know, just all of the simp shit and the music that's popping in the club. And it's like, now it's just guys tricking off and, you know, leading with their wallet first. And that's why, well, relationships are kind of in the shit place that they are. So what is good game in today's day and age? Don't know. Maybe we're going to get fed up with this video and cut it off prematurely, like many of these relationships that could theoretically spawn from this. But I think it's going to be worth it just for a little while. Well, but the video's 20 minutes long. I got it at $1.25. If it's a little slow for everybody, I can speed it up. Or if it just outright sucks, we can move on to the main event. But probably until about the top of the hour, give or take a little bit. I think it'll be just a fun little filler video because, yeah, if we were going to do the other roundtable as well, it was an hour and a half of content specifically from them, and the way that I like to talk and interact with everybody takes a hell of a lot longer. So that's more than enough preamble to begin with. You got to stare at my beautiful face just on the camera, but now we can take a look at these average chicks. I'm not much of an Asian guy, but, you know, that one in the gray's not that bad. But her, I don't like the tight hair. It never looks right. So without further ado, it's Saturday. Let's rank some game, shall we?
I mean, I'll be able to take you from the Vava to Cinco Sync, then back to the Vava. You know.
What?
The fuck?
What I can do is make sure to be a chicken noodle soup when you're sick.
Is there a Medicare? Because this guy needs to be checked if he's having a stroke.
Yo, what the fuck was that? Okay, the men will first discuss what rizz means to them and rank themselves accordingly. Jesus Christ. Okay. Oh, see, that's what happens when you're not on the screen itself and you just press the pause button.
I would say my definition of rizz is every single time I've talked ever.
If you're Gen Z, you know what rizz is. It's just using your personality and charisma to...
Yo, that guy's like 35 years old with his, with his dad's merkin on his head. Yo.
And romantically entice a girl.
It's like an all-encompassing thing, right? It's the whole package, right? So it could be the looks, it could be your
Yo, shout out Great Value Markiplier.
personality, could be the jokes, could be your pickup lines because you're witty.
It's also your approach, though, too.
Yeah.
How you can't just come up to a woman and be like, oh, hey, I think you're gorgeous.
You can't be awkward, you can't be cringe. That is the number one rizz killer. Even if you're not that good looking, if you got mad rizz, if you got mad game, you can explore that way.
That's 100% true. So how do we want to shake this up?
I would say you said that you would sing to women in public.
Yeah, that's definitely,
that's first place because I would not want to do that.
That's confidence. That's
talent.
It's not confidence.
And talent.
That is confidence and talent.
What about you guys?
I think you're funny. I think
I think you gotta go up. You gotta go up.
I think you're funny. I think you're really funny.
What's your
Funny looking, like, okay, what's with the pedo stash? That's never been cool, right? Like, I'm a student of history, but even when that was like the look back in the 70s, those were the guys that were just maintaining the four wheels on the roller skate. Like, those were the guys that were, hitting on the middle school girls at the fucking, skate counter. It's not a good look, pal.
go-to move?
No. Okay. I'll help myself.
I feel like it has to be more in the moment.
Yeah, it's more of a moment thing because I don't use pickup lines. Though, so
I think, because anyone could Google a pickup line.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's the thing. It's like pickup lines can be cheesy, but I feel like in the right context, they could also be effective, knowing that it's cheesy.
I'm so ready for your pickup line. You don't have to waste it on us.
I didn't say I had any good ones.
I think you should probably be number 3.
Yeah.
I think you should be. I think you should be. I mean, you're rizzing on Dave.
And it's working. That's the crazy thing.
Nut number 1.
Yeah, I don't really care about that. Let's see what these broads have to say about it.
Rizz is cringe.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No.
Right? Okay.
Wait, what?
Well, the name of it is. It's just game, and it's interesting, okay? Because we kind of know, and I gave my, basic definition of it. It's just game through a different, vernacular. But they're just going to tell you, oh, it really doesn't much matter. All that matters is your personality. They'll just find a way to add more words to the fact that you need to be congruent in your actions. Your words need to match your actions in order for it to really register, for you to have a shot, whatever.
No, you're not wrong. No, you're correct.
I mean, like, I guess a guy can try to like rizz you and be cringe, but like if he has good game and he's smooth with it, then like I personally don't think it can be cringe.
I'm with her.
Yeah.
But like cringe rizz is like the common pickup line type. But like a good rizz would be charismatic, positive, confidence, right?
Wow, it's almost like I watched this before. I swear to God I haven't though, but come on. They literally all say the same things. The hardware might be different, but the software remains the same.
They Googled, how do I hit on a female? Like,
No.
It's like, I'm cringing.
Yeah.
I like confidence, just not cocky. So if you like approach me like you are entitled already, and like I should just automatically go at you just because you tried, I turn them away very easily.
And it's like you don't have to be super confident as long as you put yourself out there.
Yes.
And funny.
Yes.
Funny. Like you could be like a 4, but if you got like, you know, immaculate rizz,
Then you're a 10.
then
it
you're
goes
like,
up.
probably,
Yeah.
probably 9. Probably 9.
I would shoot
All right, now it's time for the main event.
girl.
No, I was trying so hard not to laugh.
Let's start with you.
Round 1.
Nice.
Rizz.
Nice to meet you. Let's see. We're at well,
Okay, let's see. Okay, of all the guys that are up there, if we're just gonna go strictly off looks in the pause, but just of everybody that's up there, he's probably going to be the most capable. Him and Dollar Store Michael B. Jordan in the beige polo. They probably won't be bad. The rest of those guys, yeah. Great Value Markiplier is probably not going to be too bad, but I don't think any of the chicks are going to be impressed. This is going to be an exercise in trying to not bite off your bottom lip. Yo, what the? God damn
bar,
it.
you said?
There we go.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, bar. I see you're buying a drink. Where's mine?
You have to buy it yourself, unfortunately.
Motherfucker,
Okay, the
what
other
the
cheesy
fuck?
pickup line that I had,
You're gonna tell me it's cheesy before you tell me?
one that I thought of was, are you a camera?
No.
Because every time I see you, you make me want to smile.
Oh my gosh.
This is
Yo.
2 minutes.
Not rinsed up yet.
You're good.
All right, yeah. Right back. Okay. Hi, it's nice to meet you.
Hi, it's nice to meet you.
I'm Logan. What's your name?
My name's Kaima.
I think you look really great tonight.
Thank you. I do too.
Oh, I like that. You have confidence.
Thank you.
Can I get you a drink?
No.
Okay.
Okay, great. Let's cut it there.
Okay, so that was about as bad as you could possibly get. Like, let's just run that back real quick. Don't need to watch it because, you know, I want to save everybody the embarrassment. He immediately entered the customer frame. The fuck is wrong with that? That's what's wrong with kids these days. They don't understand the game. It's like, yeah, you got rizz. Your cheesy pickup lines, okay? If you didn't deliver them with, you know, hunched shoulders and, you know, doing your best question mark impression, if you would have, you know, standed, you know, with your feet towards her, you know, and just with good posture, I don't just ask her. It's like, oh, what's it like living back in the early 2000s? It's like, you big fan of Sum 41. What's a good pop punk band? But you mock her, and it's like, what? Okay, cool. Is it snowing outside? What's with the fuzzy boots? You try to nag her a little bit. You can tell immediately by her personality, especially with the overcompensation of the nose ring. You know, off rip, she would be receptive to a negative reinforcement. So him just trying to placate to her is like, where's your drink? Would you like a drink? Shit's not going to work. It wouldn't work for anybody. It might be an in if it's your section at a club, but if you're just walking up trying to pick somebody up, that's exactly the reaction that you're going to get. She's going to go back to her girlfriends and she's going to laugh at your dumbass, and you might get a pat on your back by your boy who's not too embarrassed to associate with you, thinking that your stank is going to pass off to the rest of the guys.
You guys just let me finish. You guys just start laughing. I'm not old enough to drink, okay?
How'd you get in here? I'm trying to catch a case, dog.
Smart. You gotta play it safe.
It was a pleasure.
Play it safe.
Yeah, I was the first person, like kind of the icebreaker of the entire activity, so I had no plan whatsoever and thought of a pickup line and then fouled out.
Hey,
How's it going?
Monica. Nice
Monica,
to meet
Arrow.
you.
Nice to meet
What
you
was
too.
it?
Arrow?
Arrow? Nice name. I like
you.
it.
Appreciate
All right,
it.
so what you got?
I don't do pickup lines, so I was just gonna try to get to
Thank
know
God.
you. Yeah, no,
Okay.
I was like, where are you from?
New Jersey.
New Jersey. I'm from Philly.
Oh, really?
East Coast,
Sick.
okay.
Look at that. Where you found it?
Yeah, how you like it over here?
It's not my favorite, but like I'm more of a person that's wanting to like travel everywhere.
Yo, like I said, this guy's gonna have good game, okay? Because he's asking open-ended questions. He asks immediately, okay? Like he asks his fact-finding questions. Where are you from? That has a specific answer. Okay, how you liking it over here? It gives her an opportunity to elaborate, for you to just pick up on certain things that she's gonna say, and then dig further on that. Okay, like that's good game right there. Imagine that.
Rather than
it's
just
very
like
simple.
one place and stay in that one place forever.
Favorite spot where you want to go?
Probably Amsterdam.
Amsterdam,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Why?
And also notice this as well. He's mimicking her body language as well. So he's making himself seem comfortable, right? Because she came in immediately, she started gesticulating with her hands. He also followed the same suit. Like, if he doesn't know this stuff, if this is just a natural game for him, shout out to him. But those are some certain things that you can do to just immediately de-escalate the situation, lower anxiety levels, and just show that you're not socially retarded.
I want to backpack in Europe for like 6 months.
The little Euro trip thing?
Exactly.
I see you have a lot of tattoos. You got a favorite one?
Probably this one. This is
I
why I
like this
moved to
one,
LA.
too. Really?
Yeah.
I actually do art too. I sell my artwork.
Oh, sick.
Yeah,
I
so
would
if you
actually
ever-
get artwork like
I was
tattoos.
gonna say, if you
I've
ever
done
need
that
any-
so many times with all my homies.
Really? I was
Yeah.
gonna say, if you ever need any artwork, I got you.
Sick. Cool. He's nice.
Listen,
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Yeah, that wasn't that bad, because then you can just continue a conversation later about, art or something like that. Or that would be the point in time where it's like, oh yeah, I can show you some of my art that I have right here, and then pull out your Instagram, maybe do a little flex if you got an Instagram that's popping like that. Or you could just try to get her a number at the same time, or her Instagram or something like that. So yeah, man, nothing wrong with that at all whatsoever. And like I said, it's like, great value Michael B. Jordan, he was gonna have something.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
What's your
you.
name?
Emily.
This looks like a hate crime in the making.
Emily?
Yeah, we're kind of matching. Kind of a vibe.
Kinda. I kind of like to sing a lot. So if I
Are you
sing
gonna serenade me right now?
I could serenade you.
Okay, let's
Would
do
you
it.
like me to serenade you?
Yeah.
Oh, this is
Can we talk for a minute? Girl, I want to know your name.
Oh.
But you say your name is Emily, though. So I already had that.
Oh.
Yeah.
What do you do for work?
I'm in clinical research.
Okay.
Of course you
How
are.
about you?
I am a full-time college athlete.
Okay. For what sport?
Basketball.
So can you dunk me or no?
I can do more than that. But I can show you later.
Yo, she wants that BBC. What the fuck? Yo, she's the one who's spitting game on this one. This guy's just like, I'm an athlete. Holy fuck. Like, normally, okay, like, I have nothing against athletes or anything like that. Growing up, I always just, jumped between different groups that were out there. And I played ball, I played football, I played a little bit of basketball, but they're normally some of the most unidimensional people. Like, they can talk specifically about their sport, but outside of that, if they're really focused on it, and especially at a high level like that, they're kind of socially awkward. That's kind of what you're seeing here as well. Like, she's the one who really wants him, and he's just standoffish.
Oh, okay, on that note.
Like,
Say the same thing.
Hello.
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 From him.
Listen.
Did you just tell me to listen?
I may not be able
Yeah.
to give you. I may not be the richest.
You follow up with that by just doubling down on the first thing that she takes offense to. But that's my style, though.
One here, and I may not be the most handsome one here.
Why the fuck would you say that? Self-deprecation never works, because, okay, if she takes you up on your offer to go out for a drink, or, just go do something, go get, a coffee, walk in the park or something like that, she's picking somebody who and who you told her is a lesser option than anybody else that's up there. I might not be the best looking one. You don't point it out, like, for fuck's sakes. You amplify your strengths, you minimize your weaknesses. It's Jesus.
But listen, I may not be
This is
able
why
to take
Take you from
kids
the
aren't
Vava to
getting laid
Cinco Cinco
today.
back to the Vava. You know.
What?
But what I can do is make sure to be a chicken noodle soup when you're sick.
See, that would have been fine if he would have just laid off the beginning stuff. If he would have came in and just been like totally disarming like that, and then clear it up afterwards. It's like, nah, it's just, hey, it's something funny. And I see I got you laughing on that one, and then you can continue on that way.
To make sure, I just cry right now. I want to make sure to pick you up when you fall, and I want to make sure you're the best version of yourself.
Is there a medic here? Because this guy needs to be checked if he's having a stroke. Are you okay?
Yo, hold on. Actually, like, I have like a In-N-Out gift card if you want to go. Yeah, I'll buy you whatever. Yeah, I got like multiple meals on there if you want to go to In-N-Out or like Shake.
See, again, another guy who just strikes out horribly. Simp frame. And again, if you're going to be taking somebody out on a first date, save the gift cards for like the third or fourth.
Jack, we could go, whatever.
You haven't asked me one question about myself.
All right, listen.
But you've told me to listen 4 whole times.
I'll listen to anything you have to say. What do you like to do for fun?
Not. Please help me. Let's move on. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so I basically kind of threw in the beginning. I got a little bit nervous when I came in. She was so pretty. I just didn't want to get last, to be honest. Anything but last.
See, that's another thing. Okay, beautiful girls are a dime a dozen. That's just somebody who hasn't gotten enough reps. It's like, is she fine? She got nice tits, but outside of that, is she anything special? No. She's at least... Well, those rolls from that camera angle aren't exactly doing her any favors, but she's better than average. But still, at the same time, if you're going to get distracted by that level of beauty in big quotation marks, you just aren't talking to enough people, man. Like, come on.
Okay. Hi.
Hi, I'm Tiffany.
Tiffany, I'm
Nice
Dave.
to meet you.
My pronouns are he and him, but I want to be yours.
I play Valorant, so I've heard that a
Wait,
lot.
you play Val?
I do.
Will you carry me?
I need someone to carry me. Are you immortal?
No. I'm silver. What rank are you?
You're silver?
Yeah.
I'm plat.
Yeah, I used to work for a company called Riot Games. That makes Valorant.
Really?
Yeah.
So why'd you quit?
To start my own startup.
Oh, good
Yeah.
job.
Thanks. What do you do?
Oh, I'm an advisor for a management agency.
Yeah, look at her body language. Okay, he could have had multiple different ends on that one, but she's crossing off her midsection. That's just it's just a latent defense mechanism, you know, cover up her vital organs. Still at the same, and then also leaning back. She got her hand on her hip. She would rather be anywhere other than here. I'm also discounting the fact that everybody's on camera. They know that they have to perform a little bit, so there's a little bit of latent anxiety on that one, but not a good game.
And I also do content creating.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Do you
She has an OnlyFans.
do Valorant content creation?
I think my gym stuff does better than or any yeah.
lifting?
Yeah.
Oh. Can I get like a little flex?
No.
Like a little, like a itty bitty?
You can.
No, come on. That's where you poke and that's where you prod right there. Oh yeah, you got a big following on Instagram for your gym stuff, huh?
Check out my Livestream though and then look.
Okay. So I can get your IG?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you're offering up free followers. Of course she's going to take it.
Thanks. You got to think about it for a second.
Yeah, you can get
Okay,
it.
thank you.
That seems like it went well. Let's move on.
I think it would be nerve-wracking in the bar regardless.
Oh,
There's
that was
no
the worst.
alcohol, no music. It's all quiet. Everyone is standing there. It's like a dance battle without the dance.
Dave, what's your real name, Dave?
Hi.
Hi.
What's your name?
My name's Kaima.
Kaima. Hi.
Yo, I can even see his lack of chin through his overcompensating wispy beard.
Hi, Lee. Very nice to meet you, my
Nice
dear.
to meet you too.
Tell me, are you in college, school, or anything, or?
I am in school.
Cool. Where at?
I go to RCC.
RCC.
Yes.
No way. You're from Riverside?
Yes.
I'm from Riverside area.
Really?
That's completely coincidental, by the way. Wow.
Wait,
that's cool.
oh, you're being serious?
I'm being
I didn't think you were being
serious.
serious.
No, I'm being for real. What are you majoring in?
I'm an English major.
English. Okay, cool. So you can write like thesis statements and okay, cool, nice.
Thank you.
Anyway, tell me, what's your favorite band?
Band?
Yeah.
I don't think I listen to bands that much.
Anything? Do you know?
Oh.
Do you know the?
Oh my God.
I'm working. Do you know the Killers?
No.
No? You never heard of the Killers?
I'm sorry.
Coldplay?
Yeah.
You have to know Coldplay.
I do.
Okay,
I see
that's
them in
good. That's
concert
good.
on my birthday, yeah.
Okay. No way.
Yes.
I'm gonna see them in September. Artist then. What's your favorite artist that you
Yo, is this guy going to get laid? No way.
currently have on repeat?
Probably Maggie Lindemann. She's pop
Mary
punk.
Magdalene?
Maggie Lindemann?
I haven't heard of her.
Pop punk, like alternative.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Yo, I was just making that joke to begin with. It's like, just note that her, get up looks like it's straight out of, an Avril Lavigne music video. And she's into pop punk. Like, what do you drive here in? Your DeLorean?
Yeah.
Was that good?
You kind of scared me, I'm not gonna lie.
But
You
was
like
that
Killers?
at least?
You like Killers? Huh? Killers?
Scary.
Oh my God. Yo.
I love this bar. How's it going? What's up?
Hey.
I'm Cam.
Nice to meet you, Cam. I'm Jess.
You can call me Nut though if you want.
Excuse me. Not again.
That wasn't like a weird. That's like my. People call me that. Sometimes.
Why?
It's like my music name. I do music. So.
Do you like squirrels?
Do I like squirrels?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, they're cool. Yeah. Why'd you ask me that?
Because your name is Nut.
Can I get you a drink? Because we're at the bar.
No, I'm okay.
I didn't even want to get you one.
Cool.
I'm kind of flush for cash right now.
Oh no.
Yeah.
The nut music isn't working
It's
out.
not, surprisingly, not going that great.
No.
Yeah, who would have thought? So, like, what's up? Do you do any impressions?
Do you?
I have one.
Can I see it?
Obama.
Let's hear it.
Michelle. Thank you.
It's really good.
Does that change things for you?
No, but maybe you could start doing impressions.
More impressions?
Yeah, you should practice.
I only have the one. That's it? I have more rizz. Thank you so much.
How about some?
What was the longest relationship you guys had?
3 years.
Speak it. No, okay.
3 years?
Yes.
I've actually never been in a relationship.
Okay.
Not shocked by
Never
that.
had a girlfriend.
8 years.
8?
Yep.
That's your wife. Go
Yep.
find her. What are you doing here?
I used to be married. I used to be married. I'm a divorcee.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
So
sorry.
thanks for.
I'll carry you. I'll carry you.
Thank you.
4 years. 5.5 years.
2.
2.5.
What's your biggest red flag in women?
Every single one of them, the way that they're dressed.
If your music taste isn't there, it's not gonna work, you know? Hey, nothing against you, my dear.
My red flag would be like being unable to articulate or communicate her feelings.
If the girl is not down to have fun, like let's say you're singing in a car and she's like, stop, like that's weird, or like people are watching.
Mine's probably laziness, because I like to be active and go out and do stuff. I mean, I get staying in watching Netflix or whatever, but like, I like to go out and do stuff.
I think mine would have to be energy levels in terms of like if they can match you or not. And that's not always like 24 hours, but if they just can't ever hit that level of just matching your vibe, then it's not there.
Let's just say what everybody's thinking. Being a hoe. Being a hoe is the biggest red flag. Nobody wants to wife the community bike. Everything begins from there. Obviously, you have to be attracted to the person. That's a given. But the second thing, don't be a hoe. The rest of that shit, our energy and our vibe. If you're that dude, Michael B. Jordan there. He's the only one who potentially could be that dude. The rest of them, weak as fuck frame.
Your number one red flag of yourself.
Lift too much weights. I love too hard and care too much.
So tough.
Whoa.
I troll like insanely like a lot, so I don't know if y'all would be able to
What do you mean
tolerate
by
that.
troll?
Like just mess with you.
Because I'm thinking internet troll, and I'm like, yeah.
Like if I find something that you don't like, I will like immediately.
Why?
It's just a troll, just to make you mad, but playfully, not anything. Well, maybe a little bit just to like push your buttons, but.
Just a little giggle.
I'm always late, like everywhere. Yeah, straight up.
I was told that I care too much. Like I care a lot for a person when I am attracted to them.
That's a green flag.
That's a LinkedIn answer. That's like a yellow flag.
I'll get another one. I dance too much. I dance everywhere I go.
Mine, I don't know, I'm a procrastinator, so like I'd probably plan something last minute, like a date, or I'll be ready last minute, so we're kind of late.
I think mine would have to be I'm a little stubborn. I learned it from my dad. Sorry, Dad.
Good answers, guys.
Yeah. Do you ladies feel like you have enough information to go off of to make your decision?
I had it.
Find you us.
I had it a while ago.
But what is it? Okay. Oh, final rank? Just go ahead and skip to the end, because I frankly
you were
don't really care.
nervous?
Give a lot of feedback too. This is a very, very constructive dynamic. Yes.
And then
Second place.
we have nut. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I have to be
Second most.
honest, it was unanimous except for me.
She was not for you.
I wasn't.
Oh, you were the one who didn't?
Yeah.
And you're the one that I talked to? That's hilarious.
No, but you're like lighthearted, you're like dorky, cute.
Yes. Women love dorky.
My
Let me tell you.
feedback
Women don't fuck dorky.
is just pay attention to like don't talk at someone, like make it maybe a little more personal. What do you
Again, women just give terrible fucking advice. You have to take an active tone in order for a woman to pay attention to you at all. You have to be direct with your communication. He was a little bit too ethereal. There were a couple of things that he said were fine. You did get her laughing to begin with, and that'll definitely get her attention. But you have to capitalize on that instead of just being, everything to everyone.
What do you think got you to the top?
Training, hard work, dedication. We did practice rizz on each other in the back, and I rizzed in the bathroom beforehand also.
And
Our Rizzler is. Yes.
Oh, wow.
You just like.
Imagine that. Big shock. So, yeah. Interesting. That's why kids ain't fucking today, and that's why they're just kind of resorting to extremes, if we're going to be completely honest. In case in point, what we have right here, I think it's time for the main event. It's time for the main event of the evening. So, I'm just going to go ahead, peruse the chat here for a second, see what you guys are up to. Got the Roomble one open. Shout out to you guys one more time because, hey, looks like everybody's piling in accordingly. I thank you all for turning out for that one. I should have a 6'4" Chad in the group as a ringer or a control subject. Yeah, just anybody who has a base level of communication skills. I think that would be pretty good. But yeah. Yo, shout out, man. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. So yeah, looks like I don't miss a whole lot. Nope. Yeah, I think this is what I'm gonna do from now on. Okay, until just let everybody come in. I'm just gonna pick a little easy video before we get into the main event because it's like you can go back and you can watch a replay and shit like that. But yeah, that was just fun. I kind of like just doing that. So it really doesn't much matter in the grand scheme of things. But this guy right here, should minors transition? That's going to be one of the questions. As we've seen with the feminism, the male feminists and the female anti-feminist panel from Wednesday, they tackle, 5 or 6 different questions that are out there. And we'll add our own little context, and we'll add our own little stuff that's in there. If you guys have any additional, anything else to say, just hit it up in the chat. I'm always trying to read it. I don't know how much interaction I'm going to be able to have specifically. I'll be able to shout it out, through the microphone because this is mine. I control it. Just joking. But no, so should minors transition? I think you guys probably know my opinion on that. Minors, no. What you do afterwards, as long as I don't have to foot the bill, fucking go for it. If you guys want to resurrect the Ringling Brothers or P.T. Barnum shit, fucking go for it, man. You want to transition into a lizard? Well, I think the lizardman probably needs a best girl that's out there, so you fucking go for it. But for kids, groomers, stay the fuck away.
Raise your hand if you feel attacked by the opposite side.
Interesting. Why the fuck do you got an emotional support lizard? Fucking creep. Oh, is that an attack? Oh, okay.
Step forward if you agree with the prompt. Gender-related treatment should be banned for minors.
Yes. Yes, I think I already laid that out on that one. That's interesting. Like, Crowder runs the Change My Mind. I don't see a legitimate reason why kids should be making forever decisions while they're children. There's nothing else that even has a fraction of the same level of consequences that they can do. Okay, like you can't drive until the age of 16 alone. Until at 14 you can get your learner's license, and then 16 you can get your driver's license. That's about the most consequential thing that you can do as a minor. Everything else, alcohol, cigarettes, enlisting in the military, voting, everything else is 18, 19, or 21, depending on where you live. But gender treatment, okay, sterilization, forever body mutilation, okay, the inability to have an orgasm afterwards, whatever you want to put there, those are just the things that immediately come to mind. Pause. But why are you letting kids pick that stuff? You'd have to be malevolent. I never want to attribute malevolence to something that can be simply chalked up to ignorance. So in their compassion, they're overlooking the long-lasting consequences. It's not right. It's definitely not thought out in the long term, but attributing malice to it, man, there's some malevolent people at work here, but all of them from the top down, I can't go that far. I'm sure there's some people that think they're doing some good work and that they're really saving lives, but I think you'll also find that same sort of ideology with, like thalidomide back in the cut, so.
I repeat, gender-related treatment should be banned for minors.
Oh, of course, none of the trannies are going to speak up on that one. Interesting.
Medical transition is no place for a child. I transition as an adult, and I have medical complications.
Yeah.
I have mental health issues.
Well, that led you to transition to begin with. Boy, this is not going to go up on YouTube for very long.
Child cannot consent to a medical transition because kids want to eat ice cream every day. It doesn't mean that they should.
I kind of agree with you on that as well, because we have so many rules and regulations when it comes to tobacco or alcohol or any type of drugs. Driving a car, you can't even rent a motel until you're like 25. There's some specific things that we need to put into place that I think would help protect our children, because the minors themselves really don't know who they are until they become 25, 26 years old. Their minds aren't fully
just
developed.
saying same things that I did in a very fruity
kind of
way.
breaks my heart a little bit.
So I did transition as a minor. You know,
that makes
I
sense.
was a teenager who had a lot of mental health issues and had been sexually exploited and hated my body.
Notice the through line through all of these stories. I have a history of mental health problems. Geez. Do you really think that it's gender dysphoria? It's a funny thing as well. Yeah, do you think that gender dysphoria is actually cured by, just hacking your body up? Yeah, I don't really think so. Whenever it was referred to in the past as, body dysmorphia, it's funny how they did that little change when it comes to verbiage. All of a sudden, if somebody back in the 70s is like, I would just, I really think that having my right hand is just not who I am. So if I could just go to a doctor and get it cut off, that'd be great. They would look at you and go, all right, this way, here's a nice white jacket for you. Don't worry about the fit or anything like that. It's a lot better once the arms cross in the front. They would make sure that you got the care that you need. Now the care that you need is, what do you need? Chopped, cut, anything? Hey, just as long as the check clears, that's all we care about. But just a little bit of a tidbit of information. Might be able to pull this up, and I'll probably do it for another video. But the DSM-5 is the diagnostic. It's basically the I forget the specific terminology. The diagnostics something manual. It's all in regards to psychology. So it gives you your different diagnoses. It at least rose to prominence. Where most people would have heard about it was through the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, what Dr. Curry used in order to diagnose Amber Heard as having HPD and BPD, one of the many tools. It's the gold standard in the psychology realm. But back when, because it's gone under 5 different iterations so far. So under the DSM-4, transgenderism was a mental health condition, but it got removed from that status, not through a peer-reviewed study, not through any sort of tribunal that was brought together in order to decide this stuff. You know what they did? They just got rid of it because it wasn't culturally relevant. It's only the second time in history that something like that has happened. You know the first time that happened? Back in the 70s, under the DSM-3, when they were going to revise it and create the DSM-4. What happened then? What spawned the new change? Well, something was removed in there, of course. Well, what was removed? Homosexuality. Homosexuality under the DSM-3 was referred to as a mental disorder. And then what happened in the DSM-4 when all of a sudden it was just an acceptable life choice? Exact same thing that happened with transgenderism. Once you peel back all of the layers, just like an onion, you just realize that all of this shit has happened before, and there was no such thing as the slippery slope fallacy when it comes to this stuff. This is just noticing history, realizing that there's trends at play here, and then applying them appropriately. So yes, it's a mental health problem. We've been saying that forever on this side of the discussion. Some people came to that conclusion after they made some terrible decisions, but at least they got there.
And it ended with me kind of finding spaces where that was twisted into, no, you're just a boy in the wrong body. And
I would say that's probably counselors and different ideologically possessed professionals.
It ended with me having my first ever medical intervention being a double mastectomy at 16 before any hormones, before anything else.
Yo, that's the first thing. Oh, yo, holy shit. I just about spit out my fucking water there for a second. That's the first thing that they did. Yeah, I think I'm a boy. All right, off with the tits. Sorry. What?
And because of transitioning at such a young age, in the past 6 months, I have watched my body fall apart and waste away in front of me. I have constant joint pain. I've watched my muscle mass waste away. I've watched my vocal cords hurt. I don't know if I'll ever be able to carry a child. The evidence we have suggests that the best way to figure out if gender dysphoria persists into adulthood is to let them grow up.
Yo, that's it's like really sad. But that's the reality, and there's going to be so many more of those stories now, between now and, I don't know, like the next 20 years. And even if they do start telling their stories when it comes to this stuff, it's going to come with a heaping helping of, well, We are past 2 hours on YouTube, and we're still over there, so I would just like to refer you to the 42%. I don't say that gleefully. I'm just telling you, it's like, that's reality.
Because a lot of these kids will grow out of it, and many of them will just grow up and end up being gay or gender nonconforming.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can the disagreeer step forward?
I mean, if we're going to be honest, every major medical organization supports gender-affirming care for trans youth. They say it's safe and it's life-saving, and there are numerous studies that back that up.
The study that backs it up for puberty blockers is the Dutch protocol, and the same scientists.
I have 10 studies that I can bring to you
The
right now.
same scientists that.
Again, just bad faith argumentation on that one. Somebody who's completely just delved into one side of the conversation doesn't want to hear somebody who is clearly well versed on it, who has gone through all of the steps that's there. But the other one purports to be an expert. But then, yeah, okay, my stats are what's important. Your stats, yeah, they don't matter until you dissect those other person's stats. Like, if he knows anything about that, or she, I can't keep track. The good one in the black. If she comes forward and dissects anything that's on there, yeah, then all of a sudden, it's just not going to matter. And it's just always appealing to authority. That fallacy, an actual fallacy.
Brought that up, have since rolled it back and said it was never supposed to be applied the way it has. The American medical industry, we all know, is money hungry and has gone off the rails.
I do agree that there are definitely some doctors out there that may be taking advantage of trans people, and I'm sorry that you went through this. Truly, I really am sorry. But trans kids are valid, and it's not a decision that they're making.
Right.
It's healthcare.
I want to speak to that.
How so? Just because you say something doesn't mean it's true.
Real quick, like, I came out 13 years ago when I was 14, and I knew, not that I was trans, but that I was a boy. I had to go through a lengthy process of therapy and seeing an endocrinologist and like go through different tests and exams to make sure that this was real to everyone else involved. Transitioning and being trans was just a process I went through to become who I always knew I was. It wasn't a like decision that I made. It was a life or death thing for me. And if I hadn't gotten on hormones and gotten surgery at 16, I don't know if I would be here.
As a father.
Well, statistically, it's kind of a coin flip, but then you can always point to the outliers in order to prove the rule. It's funny when the three of them were just sitting around there, they were actually pointing to more generalized, more applicable information. And these ones are like, well, if I didn't go through this, therefore everybody else has to go through this. No. Anecdotes, while they do help bolster your point, should be the basis of, just letting kids that aren't maybe, and I say that tenuously, aren't actually as well versed as you are on that subject. Just saying. But what do we got here?
I have 4 kids, and also as a trans person, I think that knowing what it looked like for me as a child and that experience of going through all of the turmoil and all of the trepidation around my gender identity, I would not put my children in that situation. And also, I don't think that surgeries should be allowed for minors. Like, when we look at the data and we look at the statistics and we look at the research, the vast majority of these surgeries are happening to adults. They're not minors.
Yeah, therefore the reason that kids shouldn't be able to do any of that stuff seems pretty valid. And exactly, okay, had the transition once they became an adult, has 4 kids. Yeah, that doesn't happen after you make the switch. So
let's start there, right? And then further than that, if we look at puberty blockers are reversible.
They're not. Okay, that's just faulty fucking nonsense. Puberty blockers are medicines. Medicines, huh? That's interesting. Chemical castration, is that what we're doing here? That prevent puberty from happening. They work by blocking the hormones, testosterone and estrogen, that lead to puberty-related changes in your body. Yeah, from Planned Parenthood, fantastic. A racist organization founded by Margaret Sanger, who puts the Planned Parenthood clinics into a lower economic communities. Very interesting that that's the place it gets cited. Nobody knows the history about that stuff, but hey, your boy got to. But yeah, delaying puberty, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It's totally reversible. Your body will just go through it. So you're carrying around a body that has through all of evolutionary time has been designed and perfected in order to go through a certain change at a certain point in time. So by forcing in unnatural hormones that is supposed to override inside what is naturally going to be in there, you're not going to go through puberty at all. The strengthening, you know, the elongation of different bones, the strengthening of tendons, strengthening of muscles, and then you're going to have to fight against that if you're not constantly up on all of your hormones all the time. I don't even know if that's necessarily the case in that, but yeah, we're just going to push off. We're just going to push off this puberty thing because that's not, you know, like a big change in your body. Interesting. It's, again, taking advantage of kids that may or may not be going through this certain time, getting that first little inclination that things are changing and people going through awkward changes. We all went through awkward changes, right? And you just had that little period where it's like, oh, for fuck's sakes, you're a little bit more self-conscious than you would have been before and that you're going to be afterwards. And if somebody's in your ear telling you, oh, no, that's fine. That just means that you're supposed to be in the other body. You're an impressionable person. Therefore, okay, just let them do whatever the fuck they want. Once they reach a certain age, go for it, man. But that's where he's at this point in time. And that's totally fine with that one. But that's just some additional context.
So when it comes to children, when we talk about puberty blockers, that gives them a shot. Yeah. And it gives them autonomy over their bodies. It gives them a space that they can explore their expression. They can explore who they are without surgeries, without all of these other things that could have permanent effects.
You know what the number one go-to for puberty blockers? Oh, they're totally fine. You can just forestall puberty for 6, 8, 10, 12 months, whatever the hell you want to do. Okay, that's whatever. There's nothing that's actually backing up saying that, no, that's actually fine. There's no evidence on that. They've been researched for a long... Sure they have been, you fucking weirdos. But what the fuck was I going to say on top of that? Yeah, I forget. Fuck it. We'll just go back to it.
My kids were maybe 8 and 10 when I started my transition. And so I talked to them in kid terms. I told my son, I said, look, you know, your mom, dad wants to be a dad because that's how I feel. And my kids being so young, they understood it. They were like, okay, we're with it, you know.
Yeah, easily impressionable. Ergo, that's why kids shouldn't be allowed to make these decisions.
And so as they got older, I would bring them into my world and get them to understand the things that maybe I was going through, but now that they're adults, they understand differences in people, not just trans people, but people in general.
So there is such thing as gender fluid. How
Yes.
do you know that this kid is not going to change their gender expression later on? We really actually don't have studies on children that are taken over long term, like over 10 years, 20 years. You've only been on testosterone 14 years. One of the oldest trans men, Buck Angel, he almost died from testosterone. You're saying right now it saved your life. You may still die from it. You don't know. You're still
Exactly.
Oh my God! Just these are the strongest advocates. It's like, oh, you're who the fuck knows what's ultimately going to end up happening to you? Oh, that's all right. I'm happy. Ruled by emotions, not by logic. This is what you get, man.
You'll die for ideology, and a lot of people have died for an ideology.
It's not an
But
ideology.
we have
It
more
is.
people that
About 100 million people over in Eastern Europe, just saying.
Yeah.
It's an idea that you were born in the wrong
express
body.
themselves. Look at the suicide rate of transmasculine folks is at 55%. And one of the factors that could save their lives is support. Right? And so if we have folks that are committing suicide because they're not allowed to transition, how do we fix that? If you're telling me the transition for children or minors.
It's hilarious that they like to say that, oh, you know, there's not a lot of, what the hell, fuck. I got to run that back real quick. That's what happens when I'm trying to read the chat and then everything at the
They're
same
not
time.
allowed to transition. How do we fix that? If you're telling me the transition for children or minors is something that shouldn't be done.
The first here, I'm very sensitive to this subject, as I've been the person who has had to talk people off the ledge when it comes to suicide.
Oh, right. It was about, there's so many kids out there that are just going to self-delete when it comes to this stuff. Yeah, there's been a big spike in millennials and Gen Z, mostly because you take a look at the curriculum and how it's changed. Like, even when I was back in grade school in the late 90s, early 2000s, like, we didn't talk about any of this stuff. We had health class, and I think it was... I remember the school I was at. That would have been, I guess, 7th or 8th grade. Like, that was the first time that they took out the cucumber and the fucking condom and all that shit. We talked about reproduction then. 8th grade. I was either 13 or 14. It was either 7th or 8th grade. It was something like that. Okay, so, but now they're talking about all this stuff, and you can be gender fluid, and it's like, well, if everybody else is going to be doing that because they, they're incentivized, and you think that you can get in good with the teacher, well, oh, guess what? I am the gender fluid. Well, what specifically? The fluid part. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of kids that are out there that may or may not self-oof. how many of those kids are just confused because you want to point to empirical data, but then at the same time you want to use anecdotal evidence. It's hilarious, the mental gymnastics you have to perform.
The discussion around how we talk about suicide is a very dangerous one in this community. You know, my parents were told, do you want a dead daughter or a living son? That's not an appropriate way to talk about that.
And I understand that, but it is our transmasculine youth
I understand
that
that
are at the highest risk
I
of
understand that,
suicide.
and they deserve help. But we also need to have a responsible conversation that is not using suicide as a means to push them down a pipeline before they have that comprehensive care.
So I have a question.
Sorry, Rizz, I know you've been wanting to say
Yeah,
something.
no, because I have a big problem. Oh, yeah, no, so I'm not an interrupter. What I'm going to say is we insult children, our youth, so much by taking away their autonomy and their own agency over their own decisions and insulting that they know who they are. Like an adult knows who they are more than they do. No one knows who I am more than I do. Right. And it's always been that way. I've always known who I was. I've never felt like I was in the wrong body. I just had to adjust my body. And so I think taking away kids' agency and the right to their own body is, it's anti-human.
I have a question. Do you believe minors should be able to get tattoos or plastic surgery or consent to the list of other? I understand they are different things, but to what level do?
No, that's okay. So hey, if we want to use personal anecdotes, because that's kind of all of the emotional things that's over there. My sister, okay, I've got a sibling, okay, younger sibling. When she was growing up, she would constantly draw a tattoo that she wanted to get when she turned of age on her arm. She constantly had it on with Sharpie, okay, all the time. Like, she would just draw it and had it there. And parents didn't want her to get a tattoo until, of course, there was a time where she was 100% sure she wanted to get that tattoo. Continued to draw it on with Sharpie every day, okay, don't need to out her exactly what specifically it was, but I remember that, okay, she wasn't allowed to make that decision, whatever the consent form. I don't have any tattoos, I don't do any of that fucking haram shit, but she wanted to get it, okay, she made up her mind. Oh my god, how long did she draw that on for? Probably for the better part of 2 years, okay, like, she knew exactly, this is what I'm going to get, and she went through that phase, but it wasn't until a point in time where she could get the sign off for that one. Might have been 17, probably was 18 though, okay, like, had to make sure, had to go through all of the rigorous testing in order to just simply do a tattoo. Meanwhile, you're fucking around with a kid's body chemistry at like 12 or 13, bruh, big difference.
Make that comment. No, to what level do we give children bodily autonomy over everything they do? Because here's the thing, children need barriers in childhood development. You need barriers, and they need a safe way to push against those barriers. And I worry with the current medical system that instead of giving them a safe way to express themselves and push against barriers, we have taken some of those barriers away. And that is why you see more detransitioners, because those barriers have been lifted.
Yeah, they're not just doling out surgeries for children. That's not happening
I had a
anywhere.
letter from a therapist in a single visit at the gender clinic office
And
before
that
I
was
had
abuse
the
from
first.
that therapist who did not
that's
psychoanalyze
awful.
the rest
That
of your
should not
issues.
happen. Right, and that shouldn't
because
happen.
your issues weren't being trans. There were a lot of other issues that you're
I have a
addressing right
diagnosis
now.
of gender dysphoria as
And
well.
you shouldn't. You were misdiagnosed.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you had to get
No, that they all do. Some overcame it and others didn't.
a second opinion, honey.
Right.
And how was I supposed to do that when my parents were told
That's
that I
not
would
your
kill
fault.
myself?
But your parents.
No, it's interesting. Okay, don't get us. You got your diagnosis of gender dysphoria. Should have got a second opinion. Oh, okay. No, you're just actually in the wrong body. No second opinion necessary. Fuck.
Their biggest crime in all this was trusting a medical system that they thought would help me, and the professionals apparently not doing the right thing here.
I understand, but your parents were responsible for the decisions that were made on your behalf.
I think that what this really highlights is the importance of you sharing your story, because what it shows is that you can't jump into these transitions, and you shouldn't listen to these doctors that push you to transition just because you're feeling a certain way.
Isn't that literally what they all just, advocated for there for except for the guy with 4 kids? You're at least putting in the effort by growing out a beard. Okay, social media brainwashes teens to believe that they are trans. Social media? Yes. Is there a bigger culprit at play in the public school system? You fucking well better believe it, but social media? Yeah, I believe that.
Social media brainwashes teens to believe that they're trans.
I have to agree on that one. Like, there's this thing about it.
Right.
Like, yeah, there's this play that they have.
I want to hear what
that it
Beanie
necessarily
Bro. Okay.
brainwashes children, but I think there are a lot of people who get into being queer or trans because it's trendy. And I know that's a really controversial statement to make as a trans person, but I've seen it, I've experienced it, and I also find that social media, especially apps like TikTok, give a lot of these kids so much misinformation
Yes.
and lead to people thinking they're trans when there are much deeper issues, and everyone just wants to belong and find an identity, especially when they're young.
Yo, that's probably the best take. Like, that might actually be, okay, like I was talking about before, that might actually be one of those rare cases where, yeah, no, that's actually like a trans person, okay? Like somebody who, you know, did all the requisite work and, you know, transitioned over and they're just living their best life that's out there. You know, you got your Blair Whites, you got your, Buck Angels, and you got your, the fuck is the one? Oh my God! If you're an old O&A fan, you remember there's that the one that Joe DeRosa and Jim Norton wanted to fuck real bad. Can't fucking remember. Bailey J. There we go. Yeah. So those ones, yeah, they're actual transgender people. Okay, like they did all the work. But when it comes to indoctrination, like mass media as well, I can remember late 1990s. Does anybody? I don't think anybody's going to remember mad cow disease. You guys remember that? That was all over the news, and especially me here in Alberta, you heard about it all the time because outside of natural resources, our biggest export is cattle, like Alberta beef. Like it goes all the way through our country, and then still like down into the States, a big exporter of that stuff, and you know, fucking damn good beef. But all of those exports stopped because there were a handful of cases of mad cow disease. What exactly was mad cow disease? Well, it was a bit of a virus that may or may not have been blown out of proportion a little bit. Sound familiar? But no, it was supposed to attack your brain apparently, and it was gonna have long-lasting terrible decisions, and it was on every single newscast, every single night. Oh, won't somebody help the farmers because there's new cases of mad cow disease that are gonna be out there. And there was a point in time where they described the symptoms. I can't remember them specifically. Where I was starting to think, mostly because my parents, you know, always used to watch the 6 o'clock news. Sometimes if you're awake at night, you know, and the 11 o'clock news would be on, especially if my bubba had come to town. She always watched the 11 o'clock news, okay? So that was always on. So therefore, all of this propaganda, all of the indoctrination, all of the brainwashing that is out there revolving around mad cow disease. And yeah, we'd have burgers every once in a while, and I would think, oh God, do I have mad cow disease? Oh no, you know, I one of those symptoms that's up there. Oh God, I got that too. Oh God, what's happening? And I'm just like a single-digit-year-old kid, okay? So, yeah, it's the outside influence. If nobody was talking about trans, there would be, like, already, of the population, 0.38% of people identify as transgender. Have they gone through any of the butchery, any of the chemical play? Not too sure about that, but they sure as fuck identify as it. And you take a look at the huge spikes in millennials and Gen Zs as opposed to every other generation that's out there identifying on the spectrum. It has something to do with the overarching narrative, all of the messaging over top of it.
I think brainwash is such a strong
that's a
word
very
to use
aggressive
there
word.
when it's
That's why I hesitated to step forward.
And that's why
yeah.
I would step in and
No, it's accurate.
actually say it's more so of like a social contagion.
Just, yeah.
What got me to transition in the first place was social media. It had a grasp on me that there could be something else out in the world for me during that discovery, and I played it to the fullest 100%. I even passed as a female for a good, you know, 6 years out of the 7 that I transitioned. And later down the road, I went and paid out of pocket and talked to just a regular therapist, and she made me start questioning my own existence in a way, what I can do as a human being. Not just as, you know, a male or a female, but what can I contribute to the society? And it made me open up to maybe I was born as a male, and it feels empowering to me.
That's interesting. I'm going to tell another anecdote here. It's my show. Fuck it. I do what I want. But yeah, growing up, like, okay, if you guys have seen the old picture, I forget exactly which video it was, but I have the old pictures of me when I was a super big fat boy. For those of you new guys in the chat, because I'm noticing a lot of the new names that are out there, you might not know my old story. I used to be 400 pounds. Okay, like I'm a guy, 6'6". I can carry 400 pounds, but I would fill out a XXL shirt. And this one right here, medium. So, you know, I've dropped myself, my hard work, okay, over the course of a few years, I dropped well over 200 pounds. And now I'm in the best shape that I've ever been, mostly because I stay on top of that stuff. But way back when I was growing up, I had the pudgy face, and I also had, until grade 7, your boy had a mullet. When my hair gets a little bit too long, it starts to, you know, curl a little bit. You might notice it whenever I'm slacking on haircuts in some of the videos. But yeah, no, it used to be long. It used to be flowing. It used to be delicious. But yeah, I would constantly, growing up until, you know, probably like puberty, like me and my sister, you know, we would go around and especially, yeah, whenever you're out in public, it's like the kids, the parents that were out there, they were well-meaning and all that stuff, but they would just refer to my sister and myself as, especially when they were addressing my mom, it's like, oh, look at your two little daughters. They're so nice. If it was constantly kept up like that in today's day and age, like my parents have excellent frame and they wouldn't have allowed any of this shit to go on. Trust me. I got more stories on top of that, but that shit wouldn't have flew then. But now, under a different set of circumstance, well, if everybody's perceiving you as a girl, well, you know, maybe we could delay that puberty for a little bit. Oh, maybe you're a girl after all. Oh, you're always playing with your sister's friends as well. Oh, you'd have to go play Barbie. There was a Polish there was a Polish family, and god damn, one of those daughters got fucking hot. But anyways, no, they were behind us, okay, in one of the houses that we lived, and yeah, they always wanted to play. Okay, and it was, yeah, the two sisters that were over there. It was myself and my sister, and we'd always go over to their place and we go play, and all they had was Barbies. And it's like, well, I can bring my, you know, Transformers. It's like, that doesn't work. Okay, you have to play with the Ken doll. And it's like, oh, for Pete's sake. So I was the guy who was playing dolls because for whatever fucking reason, there were no boys in the neighborhood. Like, there was no boys of my age, regardless of where we lived, outside of the first place that we moved to, where my best friend lived across the road. And then one day, check this out, we went on summer vacation, then we came back, and then there was a note on my door that said, hi, we had to move, and we'll talk to you later. So that kind of sucks. Maybe that's why I don't like to get attached to people. Anyway, this is about detrans. It's not about me.
Yeah, I mean, I was heavy on social media. Like in my transition, Tumblr, that was the place to be for sure. And everyone was talking about their transition from my experience, and everyone was talking about a lot of mental health issues, depression, and all of that. And it was kind of being trendy in that sense. Like when TikTok came out, like that was like a whole nother world. And the biggest thing that I found with that is like they weren't saying a lot of the negative things that were happening in their transition. There was always like a positive outlook on it, like I'm being who I need to be, like this is great.
This is the ticket to your happiness.
Yeah, and I like so much on social media. Like I made a documentary on my transition, and I really went into depth of like a lot of my depression that I dealt with on that, and I didn't find anyone talking about that.
Jen, I personally didn't think I was trans till I saw earlier trans YouTubers. Before I was just gender bending man. And for sure, I also feel like comparing yourself on social media to other people that are more beautiful and successful will create dysphoria of some kind.
Yeah,
and some people,
it will affect your self-image for sure.
Because we see all those beautiful trans women that are all dolled up or had every possible plastic surgery.
Sorry, reading and trying to engage in the chat. Say beautiful trans women?
Whatever it gets, you're gonna feel dysphoria. You're gonna be like, I don't look like that.
And that's in general, though. You know what I mean? Whether you're cis or trans,
Well, you can also notice that as well. Okay, it's like filters on Instagram. Oh my god. If we want to have a base take here for a second, all of that shit should be fucking outlawed, okay? Because that shit is... that is the biggest catfish that is out there. Like, guys on dating apps, okay, they can catfish when it comes to their lifestyle. But women, okay, they just cake on the makeup, cake on the filters, and then, you know, also, you know, take a picture from a few years ago where you're about 20 pounds lighter, and then you turn up to a date going, wow, I didn't know I was feeding 3 people.
So social media has such
I've fallen into that.
It has such a bad impact on mental health.
I wanted to be that muscular dude, and I wanted to do that. So yeah,
it is such a bad, like, well-documented bad impact on people's like sense of self and mental health, and so.
But I also really quickly.
Ooh, also interesting. Before slightly based trans guy digs into this. Like, I guess maybe I could have had gender dysphoria, or I'm sorry, body dysmorphia as well when I was, you know, getting in shape as well. Because my goal in the gym, okay, before realizing that it would cost like an absolute, you know, a small fortune in order to achieve it. Like, I wanted to get big and jacked. Hell, you can even see, well, you could see more in the camera view. Fucking, you guys already know. I got the big picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger that's right there. Okay, he's still, even though he's, you know, kind of a fucking mental cretin lately, but he's still a big inspiration. Okay, like his entire backstory. That's something I'm going to have to do in depth in a later date. Regardless, I fuck your freedoms. It's like, I'm going to try to walk them back a little bit. We know that I didn't quite mean it. Maybe I was being a bit hyperbolic or something. It's fine now. No, I'm sorry I said what I said. It's still, you know, all the way up. this is an Austrian immigrant born from a Nazi, and then comes over and wins Mr. Olympia 6 times and becomes the biggest movie star, and the motherfucker can't even talk. Like, there's huge inspiration that is right there specifically. And yeah, that's who I wanted to be, especially, yeah, first guy going to the gym, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, okay, I want to get so big that, you know what, hey, I got those invisible lats, you know, like the guys that walk around, they got the, oh, hey, man, they would just walk out with their arms akimbo like this. I wanted to be that. Oh, I wanted to be it so bad. Just going from being a big fat fuck, yeah, I didn't give a shit if I had to get tailor-made jeans. I didn't care how big my quads get. I didn't care how big my back gets. If I got to go sideways through a door, fuck it. It's all about the grind. But then realizing how expensive and how many experimental jabs, hey, actually, you know, it does fit in here. That just wasn't going to happen. But thinking I could achieve that, and maybe that's a little bit of body dysmorphia. But anyways.
You just want to say, like, I don't want people to think that, like, social media is turning people trans.
Yeah, we agree with that. All right, can the disagree step forward?
Yeah, okay, so my thoughts on social media and everyone suddenly looking or being trans. I think whoever is leaning towards that or looking towards being trans for answers was always someone that felt that way or felt some type of way about their gender or their identity or the way they present themselves. They're just gonna go that way. I know plenty of femme twinks who went the muscle queen pipeline. It's not a rare occurrence. And so just experience your life, have fun, try not to take social media seriously because no one is advertising their failures. It's all fake.
Yeah, but I think it is also important to say that, like, social media is very, very effective. You know, I mean, I personally scroll on TikTok and I'm like, do I have OCD? Do I have autism? Like all these different things.
No, you already said that you have a mental condition, but it's just very interesting.
It's like it can suck you in, so it's important to be aware of those things.
I have a question for Samantha, since you have the largest platform here. Do you believe over the years you've inspired people to transition?
629,000 subscribers, 241. He cheated on me, and I'm great. Do we want to look through that? Oh, that could be fun. We'll see how much time we have at the end.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think that I've inspired people to believe that it's okay to be transgender, it's okay to express themselves, and that it's possible to live a happy and
groomer alert. Groomer.
Successful life.
How do you feel about the fact that some of them are going to regret the body modifications they got and going to have, like...
I think that they should go to a doctor that is well-versed in gender care and have the appropriate psychoanalytic analysis.
I would go to an impartial doctor, but if you want to go to one that's slanted, well, of course, yeah. Hey, it worked out for you. What could possibly go wrong for 42% of people?
This is done beforehand. That's not my
I feel like a lot of folks are going to social media looking for possibility models. Sure. They're looking to see if they're okay. I know for me, when I was very young, looking to see if there were other people like me, because for a long time I thought that I was
the only one.
Exactly.
I thought I was
right.
The only one.
And so feeling like that, like suicide was a thing for me. Right. And so when I did see a possibility model, when I did see somebody that looked like me, that put me in a space where I was like, I'm okay.
Sigh of relief.
Right.
I will say there's also a difference from like showing people that you can have a positive life and then telling them what to do. So I think you on your channel are kind of like, hey, look what I was able to do and how this made me feel, versus like, you should do this because I did this.
Yeah. Right. So and also, I try my best to be very upfront about
because we can't help if someone's going to change their mind on something. Like, that's inevitable.
Yeah.
We're humans.
And I have to jump on one more thing with that. Like, if I'm watching her channel and it inspires me to transition, I have been watching white straight men be president for years, and I've not wanted to be president once, so I don't identify.
Yeah, white straight... Okay, I understand. Like, the hormones might be fucking with you a bit, but Barack Obama. With
that, we're going to talk about brainwashing. Let's talk about where we see things every single day happening a certain way versus someone just living their life authentically.
People with gender dysphoria need therapy, not surgery.
Yes, and again, that should come first, okay? And if you're legit about that, then explore that option. But yeah, of course, therapy, but again, from an impartial doctor, not somebody who specializes in this shit. Maybe somebody, and it's really tough in that profession, like outside of Jordan Peterson, there are very few non-ideologically possessed people, and even still, and it's like Peterson's a little bit touch and go when it comes to certain things, but overall, that entire field is super fucking feminine.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that one.
I don't.
I feel convinced.
We all agree.
I think it's potentially both, though. Yes. I think everyone with gender dysphoria needs to go through a therapeutic process and mental health care before they make that choice for themselves.
Exactly.
I personally confuse a lot of my gender dysphoria for body dysmorphia because no matter how much I feminize my body, till today I still don't feel comfortable in my own body. And now like looking among like members of trans community, I see that people keep on getting more and more surgeries. The surgeries are no longer affirming. You can just tell that this person is like struggling with body images. I was able to get on estrogen pretty quickly when I was 22, and my mental health declined afterwards, and I attributed it to being still in the wrong body, needing more body modification, end up getting sex reassignment surgery. I do believe that transition was sold to me as a hardware fix for my mental issues that were not addressed. I still struggle with internalized homophobia that pushed me into transition in the first place. I struggle with borderline personality disorder,
I'm not trying to be terribly disrespectful, but what is shape? I know that sounds like a grammatical nightmare, but I don't. What? He, she, they, so anything. Not really a terribly accurate name, and detransitioned. What are we dealing with here? Like, I kind of want to be respectful, sort of. I at least want to be civil. But I want to be accurate. Is it?
Body dysmorphia, I'm on a spectrum, and I'm ADHD, and I have all those issues that were not helped, and I was...
And again, no, I don't need to wish that pox upon the world. Yeah, somebody who has a litany of mental health problems, and you've gone to all of those professionals, and nobody wants to address any one of those. That's yeah, that's an indictment on the healthcare system in and of itself. Okay.
Still struggling with them after transition, and I still do. Overall, after a few years, I came to a conclusion that I was not in the wrong body, that I'm a gender non-conforming man, and I am a feminine man. That's what I am.
I don't know if you guys have heard, but I've had a lot of binary trans people say that it's not a mental health issue. Like,
she looks like a mental health issue. Okay, like look at the fucking bags under those eyes. Like, listen, I don't sleep all that much, but yo.
If you're trans, and I know I don't agree with that, like I think there's a disconnect between the mind and the body. I guess I'm asking that. Like, it's like, do you think that it's a mental health disorder?
I don't think being transgender is a mental health disorder.
Right.
I think, you know, gender incongruence is what they're referring to it as now. It's listed as a sexual health concern, but the gender dysphoria, which is the symptom that arises when you are transgender, is a mental health concern.
So maybe I'm thinking of, like, that's what I'm trying to say then in a sense.
And then once you are diagnosed with gender dysphoria, and I feel like this is kind of what the prompt is kind of hinting at, if you do have gender dysphoria, the only treatment for that is transition. Whether that be just a social transition, a medical transition, whatever transition fits you, that is the only way to heal your gender dysphoria. When I transitioned, the first thing my mom said to me was, can't you just be gay?
Based mom.
It hurt hearing that, but a big reason that she said that was she was afraid of what my dad would think. He's always been very, very conservative, very traditional, you could say. He would make comments about trans people, about gay people growing up, so I always knew.
Yeah, everybody's dad did. Okay, oh, it doesn't really work, raise of hands, but you know, like, I'm still very close with my parents, and we talk just about every day. Oh, fuck. Okay, I just addressed that with Meta in the chat as well, but there's a certain 3-letter word that I'd like to throw around right now, and tomorrow during the Rumble exclusive stream, we'll probably get a little bit more disrespectful, because I've seen another panel that I want to talk about, because I think that shit's funny, and mostly because we can goof off on it, but I think that they got a flat Earth panel. I might do that one, or I might do something with Attack on Titan. Not entirely sure, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, like when I'm talking with my dad and shit like that, like everything's on the table when it comes to verbiage, because yeah, people of a certain generation don't give a fuck about any of this in new age fucking weirdo shit. And it's like, oh God, you raised a failure. Now you're having it just broadcast to the world for 640 some odd thousand subscribers, bruh.
That he wasn't necessarily accepting. So when it came down to me transitioning, I said to him, I'm going to do this. Either you're going to be the dad that accepts me and supports me through it, or like, goodbye. And he chose to support me, and we're closer than ever now.
And I think a lot of us go through medical transitions to easier go through social transition.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, and so a lot of our folks that do transition and may detransition, both experiences are valid, but also understanding that we're not mentally ill because we're trans, right? And I think that there should be a psychiatrist or someone within behavioral health to be able to say, okay, you're in the right frame of mind to make this decision. But I want to just make it very clear that trans people are not dealing with mental health because they're trans.
Absolutely.
Actually, yes, that's 1000% the way that it is. Just because you're a gunshot victim doesn't mean that you're dealing with blood loss.
Absolutely.
I disagree. I feel like transgender is definitely, and elderly trans people afford for it to be classified as mental illness, so it's covered by insurance. Otherwise, why are you getting the surgeries to?
Because
but what, if it's not a
How long until that changes?
medical condition?
The dysphoria is a medical condition.
It is, but it's in your head. I would say that you have some kind of mental disorder if you're trying to mimic a stereotype of opposite sex.
Right, but
surpassing
it's not a
society.
mimic. It's
The
it's
treatment for this
aligning.
mental illness is to transition.
I have a question though, because I have a gender dysphoria diagnosis. I always have.
Yeah.
But I'm
You could run around the entire panel and figure that out as well.
still where I am today.
Can I give you my honest opinion? I think that you were probably misdiagnosed.
I don't think I was.
That's interesting. You're getting a medical diagnosis from a fucking YouTuber. Christ. Like, I get hit with strikes for saying that, oh, you're impersonating an expert and you're giving medical advice. I've never purported to do any of that shit, but that dumb motherfucker's sitting over there going, oh, you've been misdiagnosed because this conversation is very detrimental to my worldview. Ugh.
So you do
feel
have
dysphoria
in your
body? I certainly do now.
Yeah, me too.
Because of the
you
change that you
want to
made.
talk about now, but at the time,
At the time, did you?
I genuinely believed I did. I thought it would save me. And then looking back, I realized that my dysphoria stemmed from some severe trauma that was not handled.
Yeah. Right.
And that's why I think that mental health step is so important.
Yeah,
Because I've heard this from several other, mostly female detransitioners who we had some form of pretty bad trauma that spawned gender dysphoria symptoms.
Yeah.
And we can disagree about misdiagnosis or something later, but it felt real at the time for me.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it did. I didn't mean
And
that.
no, I know.
No, that's exactly what you meant it as. Jeez, I'm fucking... Oh my god! If you guys aren't in the Rumble chat for a second, like I'm fucking dying from what Memetic Militia over there said. Oh, for fuck's sakes, man! Oh, yeah, that you had me fucking dead on that one. Can't say it on YouTube, but check it out on Rumble.
And it's one of those things where that's where the mental health treatment really needs to come in and get to the root of that issue, because oftentimes, specifically with the detransitioners I've talked to, that was ignored. I came out to my parents in a mental health facility after telling the therapist that I thought I was transgender. And she told me we had to tell your parents so that way you can get the help you need. It led to me seeing a gender therapist who, honestly, the issues I was facing were never addressed. To this day, no one ever addressed the fact that I had severe trauma and exploitation going on as a young teenager. Instead, I was kind of just affirmed in, you believe this, and instead of
Yeah, it's medically prescribed escapism. There is, man, that's kind of tough. She's very hurt individual, and I don't want to make light of her specifically. Like, she knows her facts and shit, but there's a lot of hurt there, and it's kind of uncomfortable.
even just a little pushback, it led me to the point where the very first medical intervention I ever had was a double mastectomy at 16. A few months after that, I started testosterone because it was the next step of what I was supposed to do.
God intended for there to be only two genders.
Yo, that's fucking based. As it is written, so it is done. Yo, that shape there is such a follower, never wants to take the lead. And hey, man, I'm not saying that there's anything completely connected to that, but there's a reason they got led down that pipeline, just saying.
Yeah, you go first.
Okay, so as a Christian, I truly believe that God created male and female, and He had created that throughout life, throughout the nature, throughout the wildlife, throughout Earth itself.
I'm not going to thump a Bible or anything like that, or Quran or Torah, and I'm also not going to say that you can find salvation in, religion or anything like that. I've got total respect for it, of course. Like, if you want to go listen to a God Pill podcast or something like that, be my guest over there. I don't really care. That's not my steez, but I have extreme respect for all that stuff. But adhering to those principles solves a lot of problems. Just saying.
And then the arguments come up into the ocean sides of, well, there's these asexual creatures and stuff like that. Well, they were designed that way for a reason, and we humans were not designed to, we were designed to procreate and be able to bring life back to the earth, because we live and we die, we live and we die, we get the rotation of a process of life in itself and its own journey. So I truly do believe that there is male and there is female, but I can respect people's choices. However, that's where I stand on it.
Yo, this dude is gonna get roasted by those fucking trannies standing there on the other side. Great description. I agree with all of it that's there, but Oof, this one's going to be fiery. How long is this little segment right here, just so we can get a little indication? My wireless mouth wants to die on me when I don't click too much. Yeah, this is going to be a big roast session.
Well, I'm not Christian, but I do believe there's only two biological
But I am spiritual.
sexes, and somehow that's how it's been designed, whether it's by higher power or by evolution. I do believe gender expression has been on a spectrum for centuries. We do have references to people who've been cross-dressing. We have references to eunuchs. And as somebody who went through transition and detransition, when I started taking testosterone, it's almost like reminded me of my original blueprint. And I feel like I went against my original blueprint and I did a lot of damage to it. And I just cannot go back to who I was, because without my testicles, I'm just too far gone in my transition. So that's where I'm at.
Can the disagree step forward?
Yeah, you know, we have historically spent more time focusing on and celebrating several genders. There are several different cultures throughout the world that celebrate the different genders, and to
Wait a minute. A bunch of different cultures around the world that celebrated genders. I don't know if we can point to one specifically, but are those the ones that lost all of the wars because they were too busy focusing on all of that fucking all of that ethereal nonsense that just ended up getting crushed? Kind of like all of those matriarchies that are around the world. Ooh, patriarchy so bad. Well, patriarchies produce winners.
to negate the fact that they exist and to negate their validity is just wrong.
There are as many intersex people.
Just because it's wrong morally doesn't mean it's wrong realistically.
As there are redheaded people on the planet. I can name 12 people at the top of my head who are born intersex. So to pretend like there's man and woman.
Yo, you are, like, there's absolutely nothing else. Well, you couldn't have been produced from a more perfect situation. Okay, I know 12 intersex people. Fuck does that even mean? Okay, like, do you got a big gay club that you go to, or maybe that's what's on your seat? Intersex is an umbrella term. Okay, yo, shout out Jubilee for actually providing the description there. Okay, an umbrella term used to describe a wide range of natural variations that affect genitalia, gonads, hormones, chromosomes, and reproductive organs. 1.7% of the population is born with intersex traits. Natural variation. Okay, so are you intersex if you got like a big dick or like a cavernous gash? Like, what? Your hormones. Okay, so if you got like high testosterone or low levels of estrogen, like, see how stupid and nonsensical focusing on all this fucking shit is? Like, obviously, okay, I recorded a video. It should be going up on Rumble. It's from the old health channel. I'm still continuing it over there because I like talking about that shit, but get your as a man, get your testosterone levels checked. Next time that you go to a doctor, it's a simple blood test, okay? Like, just check them out for your own health, because guys who have suboptimal levels of testosterone have a terrible go of it. Like, your energy levels are down, your muscles are wasting away, you just aren't living up to your full potential. And if they are low, and chances are there's a bunch of pollutants that are out in the atmosphere that are just out in the world specifically that are actively bitching you up. So if you don't take those proactive steps, you're doing yourself a gigantic disservice, and you might consider yourself intersex or whatever fucking nonsense that shit is. Like, all of it just makes no sense. I'm gender fluid. I'm pansexual. I'm intersex. Fucking what?
Is just erasing an entire group of people. The God you speak of, the first God that intersex people get to meet, is the doctor, because it's up to their discretion of just what you're going to be when they mutilate their body.
God is a doctor. I'm dead.
To be a man or a woman, and that is not fair.
Right.
Right, and I think also gender and male and female is not the same thing.
Biological sex are different things.
Yeah, we're talking about gender, which is
Yeah, gender was developed by Dr. John Moody. That butcher who ended up, facilitating the 2 suicidal deaths of a pair of twins in Winnipeg. Shout out Canada one more time. But what's the caption that we have right here for a little added context? I'm really, again, citing Planned Parenthood. I was going to give you props for a second. Sex is a label, male or female. No, sex is a biological characteristic that is intrinsic in I didn't want to say not all mammals, but just about every outside of certain types of insects, I think everybody is male or female. Otherwise, yeah, you can be like the early rumors of Lady Gaga that she was a hermaphrodite, but most things are male or female, and you can see that play out in every fucking species that's out there. It's not just a label. It's a biological fact. It is a defining characteristic that you're assigned by... No, you're assigned by your biology, you fucking... At birth, based on your genitals you're born with and your chromosomes you have. That's very interesting. It's very, very interesting. Again, like, let's not just cite to any of the places or just, just watching children. Like, there's also, if we want to cite studies, there's studies about twins. Okay, even identical, well, it wouldn't be identical if it was a male and female, but male and female twins, okay, like, they just immediately start to gravitate. Okay, they gravitate towards different toys when they're growing up, different colors that are intrinsic to male and female. It's not something that, oh, you're just assigned at birth. Gender is much more complex. Yes, it's for those midwits that also believe in healing crystals and the vibes and the energy that's out there. Fucking tards. But no, it's much more complex. It's made up. It's commie gobbledygook nonsense. Go. God damn it. That was a good
There's like
place to
gender,
start.
gender identity, the social aspects to being a man or a woman. But male and female dictate sex,
Well,
so like body parts.
I disagree with the having sex and gender being two different things.
Okay,
I
well,
believe
that's
them
a
to be
fact.
one. So I believe that they're the same. They're one and the same. They're not different, but we have evolutionary problems within the humanity, because I also see that there are intersex animals that do exist, and that's how they're born. But I also do believe that the initial design was for man and woman, and then somewhere along the way, viruses, mutations, diseases, plagues, all that type of stuff that we have in the world does play a part back onto the world itself. But I believe the initial intent was for God to create Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. I'm just gonna say it.
Yo, that's a shout out old school joke from, oh Christ almighty, way before even I was born, but yeah.
That's homophobic.
I know it sounds homophobic, and I understand.
No,
I'm
it
hitting-
is. It's
It is.
No, it's funny, sort of, in a dad joke sort of way.
Go back.
That's okay. You
Homophobia
guys-
made me transition, and that's what you're perpetuating right now. I grew up in a very homophobic family, and since I was a kid, I was always brainwashed, said gay is bad. My parents were not happy that I was naturally feminine. They always tried to make me more masculine. They tried to give me to masculine sports. I was mercilessly bullied at school for my femininity, constantly being told that I'm not a real man, that I'm a sissy. And when I came out to my parents as gay, they took me to therapists and tried to do pretty much conversion therapy for me, which failed.
So is that okay, Meme, was that talking to you in Rumble side of that shit, where it's okay, trying to figure out what the fuck is going on with that thing? Is that a dude? I'm still confused on that. But Ed, okay, confirm your email. They should be sending you an email to whatever email you use to sign up over on Rumble, and if not, you can probably do an account recovery over there. It should be able to send you through over there. So log out and then log back in, or just go forget password, and then it should send you back a confirmation email to the account that you're using right there. If that doesn't clear it up, we'll try to go back and forth in the chat on that one, but it just address I see asking for some help right there. It's easier to do it this way. Talking's easier than typing. Imagine that.
So I don't believe in God. I believe in people that exist.
We know you don't believe in Jesus Christ. This fucking knockoff. Actually, no, yeah, the full fat version of, oh my God, what's her name? I can't even remember. She's Tyra Banks.
Exist right in front of me, and I believe they should have the right to exist. And so
I'm not saying they don't have the right to exist. I'm
no,
just
but
saying,
I mean,
I'm just saying that
I mean,
was the
they weren't
initial
mistakes
intent.
either. They're just here the way you and I are here right
Right.
now, and they are who they are, and we have to accept people as they are.
Right.
No, don't have to accept anybody for anything.
And there are biological differences in trans folks. When we look at the brainstem, our brainstems are different. Like that's
Neurologically.
Right. Neurologically, we're different.
Yeah,
and
male and female are different. Exactly.
Trans people are different.
Yes.
They've found a distinct difference in the cortex.
There is no biomarker for trans. Some brain scan of some gay males is identical to female brain, but there is no.
There are brain scans of male and female, and if you place them over top of one another, it's like they're complementary. So that's where I would go against, the MGTOW guys, okay, the black pillars that are like, oh, I'm just gonna live my life by myself, I was just created the certain way. I was only born 5'4" and my life is just gonna be over. It's like, oh my fucking god, just go be pathetic elsewhere, just get out of my sphere. I don't need to fucking hear you when it comes to that shit. But men and women are better together than they are apart, because yes, we're natural complements to one another, okay? It's just most women that are out there right now, they're just, you don't even know if they're actually women, or they're just so masculine, kind of like, the video that we seen a little bit earlier. So those are the brain scans that are out there. But when it comes to a trans person, I think you're going to find that the shape and the cranium and, the bone density is going to tell you a certain thing about a certain thing. But hey,
no biomarker for trans. Please don't spread misinformation.
There is science that hints towards it. It's just not confirmed.
No, there's research.
So therefore, it falls under the belief that there is, but there's no scientific fact to back that up, which therefore I believe that God's initial intent was to create male and female.
If God intended to, if God exists and in the way that you believe and just intended to make male and female, then we wouldn't be sitting here.
That's interesting. Okay, because what did I respond to a tweet or something like that? It was pointing out, I think it was Amazing Atheist. You guys remember him from back in 2016, back when all of that atheism shit was really popping off, especially during whatever fucking gate that was. Yeah, he's still meandering on the internet doing weird shit and still being mad about Trump or something like that. But yeah, no, it was responding to the fact that, he's unhappy and saying all this shit, and then he's just a big fat fucker, and then just continuing to, hate on anybody that's not him. I responded with something that seemed to resonate with some people. The biggest advocates against atheism are atheists. Okay, well, I'm not. I don't pledge myself to any specific religion. I understand the Abrahamic tenets, and I tend to agree with that. Islam's looking fairly fucking based right now, but definitely seeing some of the pushback from the Christians, and that's kind of generally my predisposition, coming from a more Orthodox Ukrainian Orthodox background. I'm already kind of predisposed to that as well. But atheists that are on the panel right there, if God exists, spaghetti monster, whatever fucking dumb shit that was running around at the time. The people who ascribe, the people who actually, advocate for their religion and do a decent job for it, you take a look that are out there. Okay, you got your Orthodox Christians, seem to be pretty decent people. Like even your, to the book, hyper-religious Jews, they seem to be, pretty structured people. And then, your super based Islam folks, hey man, if you got a spare rock or two, I got a moment to hear about your Lord and Savior. But yeah, atheists, though, on the other hand, they're not the people that I'd ever want to pal around with, because they mostly just live, they live degenerate lives. Case in point.
I believe in a higher power, right, of my own, and God is not this thing that creates rules and binary situations and laws that can be broken or really made. We're just all here. Yeah. Like I was born in a female body, but I was never a girl. Never. Ever. I can't explain why, but that is my truth. That is the fact. That is who I've always been. And there's no way that I'm going to look up at this guy at some guide and be like, oh yeah, you made me as a mistake. Right.
Transitioning improved my sex life.
Jacqueline Glenn. She was Blair White's friend, right?
Who wants to start?
I could start.
And I'm embarrassed.
Not to say my sex.
Transitioning improved my sex life. Oh my god, what was that? I was listening to, I think that was the Satan the Sinner was on a round table with Fresh and Fit when they were in Las Vegas. Great show, fantastic show, by the way. I think I've shouted that specific episode out a lot. There's a lot of knowledge to be gained from that specifically, but yeah, he was talking about a Johns Hopkins doctor who transitioned in their 30s and then detransitioned as well, and described all of the horror stories. It was a male doctor transitioned to a female, got all of the surgeries, all of them, and then transitioned back and then detailed how much pain he was in, and then also hair growing in certain places that you wouldn't want hair to grow. If you can connect the dots, do yourself a favor and yeah, just extrapolate that out for yourself, or just don't think about it at all and know that hair shouldn't be there, because the way that humans have evolved is to not have hair in that certain place. And it was incredibly painful, and it continued to grow there because guess what? It's an unnatural wound. Hence why you got to continue to dilate it for multiple hours a day so it doesn't close up. Your body doesn't want that shit, but your mind, your indoctrinated mind, seems to think that, no, this is the best thing for me, and that's going to improve my sex life. You're out of your fucking gourd. And again, what did I say at the beginning? You're going to become sterile for some people who are, heathens and don't want to procreate. No offense. Joke, sort of. And then, you also, a lot of people, depending on how far along you are on your hormonal replacement therapy journey, you can't achieve orgasm. Like, that's the entire purpose, well, outside of procreation, but to fuck around. Just saying, like, come on, you can't do that, but it's going to improve your sex life. It's funny. Okay, so, which one of the other group popped through? Oh, okay.
Sex life was
interesting.
It was bad before, but I think transitioning and coming into my body and feeling comfortable in my skin allowed me to open up more.
But that's interesting. The biological woman comes forward and says that, yeah, okay, my sex life got better. It's mostly because, to just take a little bit of knowledge on top of that, for women, sex is far more mental than it is for men because, I can, a couple of different times, I've hated the person that I've been reading the Bible with. But on the other hand, a woman has to respect you in order to fuck you. She might like you. She might think that, you're a swell guy. There's no such thing as a pity fuck, and there's no such thing as we're just friends. They see some sort of intrinsic value in you. Otherwise, that shit ain't fucking happening. So it's interesting that the woman is going to say, the biological woman is going to say that, I felt more fulfilled after my transition. And it's like, again, it's like, still a woman.
It allowed me to not only be better in bed, but also explore what my sexuality looks like.
Yeah. Being trans also made sex really complicated for me too, because I'm a straight guy and I pass very well, and majority of the women that I've been with, I would have to eventually kind of break it to them that I was trans and deal with a lot of rejection. And with somebody, I would never let girls touch me or see me without clothes on. Not having a penis made me feel inferior as a man, and that no one would want me, which is...
Sounds like that's all brought on by yourself. So did he get the old forearm strip?
That's why I rejected that part of myself and never even let it be loved. It took a lot of really accepting that people were going to accept me and be attracted to me and love me and want to give me pleasure regardless of what was in my pants. And that took a long time. It took until I was I think I was 21, when my ex-girlfriend and I started dating. From that point on, I realized that just letting someone love me was half the battle. Aww. And once I let that piece come into play, it changed my life.
See, again, another biological female just resorting to emotions and feelings and emotional damage.
Do you want to go? You want to go?
Y'all can go. I'll go last.
So even though I detransitioned, in the beginning, especially when I was on hormones, it increased my sex drive a lot. And there were a lot of aspects to that was enjoyable to explore my fluidity for sure.
Oh, okay.
I was able to
Oh yeah, that's another thing too, because I learned how to lift, changing the subject once again, but when it comes to exercise, I learned how to lift from a female bodybuilder. I know, right? Big misogynist like me, one of my favorite things to do, I learned from a woman. Oh my God, shattering some narratives. But women who not like that, but dabble in the dark when it comes to taking gear and in order to become a bodybuilder. That's the first thing that they notice, just an increased sex drive, and it's that's what being a man is every single day. So there you go.
Date a lot of people, and I think from detransitioning, it's the opposite of that. My sex drive completely changed. In a way that
mostly because
there's good aspects to not being horny 24/7.
Yeah, there you go. So then when women just could you just keep your dick in your pants? That's that constant thing in the back of your mind, like how women are always constantly looking at the man that they're with and just wondering, are you the best motherfucker that I can actually get? Guys on the other hand are like, oof, I want to fuck you, I want to fuck you, I want to fuck you, and I want to fuck you back to back to back to back to back. Well, like a 10 or 15 minute recharge period.
It helps me be more comfortable in my body even with detransitioning, which sounds weird, but like having a trans male body was like so different from the norm. So like I had to accept certain parts of myself. So like even with detransitioning, it helps me accept like certain parts of myself that I don't have still.
Absolutely.
I did identify as a gay man before I transitioned, and like those relationships, I feel like I always kind of had like out of body experiences when we were like intimate. And even after I transitioned, before I had bottom surgery, I like just like the anxiety and the dysphoria that I would feel whenever I was intimate or like a partner would try to be intimate with me was just like crippling.
Yeah.
So then when I had surgery and I felt more affirmed in my body and, you know, everything is, it feels right to me now, I'm finally able to have those intimate connections with people and, you know, form those deeper bonds, so.
How does that work though? Okay, because if you went the entire way, and we might have some time to peruse her YouTube account, that'll be fucking fun, but yeah, again, how do you know when the event is over for you? Just saying.
It's really helped me a lot.
That plumbing isn't there.
Thanks.
Yeah, of course.
When I came out as trans when I was 18, I moved to Miami, and it wasn't until I got my gender affirming surgeries where I was
Yo, the left is so good with language. Gender affirming surgery. As an amateur butcher.
I did like lose my virginity because I was just not comfortable doing that. I was like, I'm not presenting in my best light, and I think I could get there.
Yeah, for me it was like, I'm not fitting the role that I'm supposed to play in this relationship.
It felt weird, and you also attract a different type of partner. Back in my day, I used to attract what we call a chaser versus someone who was genuinely attracted to the female form, which is someone who I wanted to like.
Oh, okay. Thank you, because I had no idea. It's like, the fuck? Is that like the shit after the shot or what? A person who dates or hooks up with a certain type of person, such as Oh! What? Okay, so, So, yeah, now you're just a novelty item. Well, that'll eventually hit you at some point in time. That's gonna suck when that happens.
That's the role I felt. And so that's where I was comfortable. And now I'm comfortable. In Virginia. Like Virginia, the T word did not exist. That was on Jerry Springer and Maury Povich.
Trans. That one?
And that's where that stayed. No one was trans. And so I transitioned when I was about 18. I moved to Miami, and my joke is that...
Why the fuck were you stumping for minors getting, chopped up earlier?
I hit the tarmac, and I said, I'm a woman, by the way. I remember I came out to my mom, and I was super nervous because I'd come out as gay years and years before because that was so much easier. But when I came out, I remember my mom just asked if I was happy, if I was healthy, and if I was going to finish school because she had already paid for it. And I...
mom trying to diffuse the situation. Oh, that's... You're going to finish school, right? I paid a lot of money for that.
I said yes.
Can the disagree step forward?
This... Okay.
Transition definitely.
Yeah, this is going to be sad. All right, it's going to be sad.
I was fine with my penis, but a year after estrogen, I felt like...
Okay, it's a dude. Okay, finally got to it. Okay.
That part didn't belong on me anymore. So I went ahead and had sex reassignment surgery. After that, my sex drive was gone pretty much. I kept on having complications. I wasn't able to keep my neovagina open despite rigorous dilation. I had multiple revisions, including colon vaginoplasty.
Yo, yeah, that's what I was describing earlier, but, yeah, shout out to the troll doll for, just really driving it home, well, not being able to.
I just got some of my sex drive back last year when I started detransitioning with testosterone, but it's kind of traumatic to have male sex drive back without my penis. Also, I want to say that sexuality is fluid. My sexuality has definitely changed once I lost my testosterone. Before, I was strictly attracted to men. After I lost my testosterone, I was attracted to people in general because now I didn't have this like male sex drive, so I couldn't relate to men as much. They wanted to have sex, but I just wanted to hold hands and cuddle.
Aww.
And now my body dysmorphia / actual gender dysphoria as well is worse than ever before. I do feel like I'm stuck in a surgically created body. I just don't think I've been really myself by trying to become a woman. Yeah, so transition did take a lot from me.
That's been really, really hard. Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, like I said, it's going to be sad.
If you had like found the results that you desired in the beginning, would you feel differently than you do now?
No, because I realized I just miss being a man. I just miss being obsessed about sex and money. I don't want to do the whole emotional thing. And
that's kind of what I said. W Cabbage Patch Kids.
I'm talking about stereotypes, okay? So I regret. It's just like now I'm a medical patient for life. Also having sex drive back, it just reminds me that I lost all these years. I could have been having fun, whether it's chasers. I definitely have internalized homophobia. So internalized homophobia.
Oh, healthy.
Phobia also pushed me into transition because I felt like chasers weren't good enough because I wanted to be a woman. I wanted to escape my homosexuality. But now I realize at the end of the day, I'm a gay man and I'm still living with internalized homophobia because therapists actually will never help me with that.
Do the giant plastic tits help you attract partners? Weird. It's just all weird. It's so weird.
It's fascinating that you say that because I dated men and women, and in my transition, I felt like I had an internalized homophobia when I was with men because I didn't feel like a gay man. And that was really hard for me to like figure out because I had had this journey for so long, and a lot of sexual experiences were good, but I was on Grindr and I'm sleeping with these men and they're treating me how I would want to be treated in a social setting, but I'm like, I was really, really masculine in my presentation, but I tended to be kind of feminine in my roles within sex. And so I think that also got me to realize that I wanted to detransition because it was a reflection of the relationships that I had. Like, to follow kind of some stereotypes, like I did miss being a woman in some of those like social settings, like with how women interacted with me, with how men interacted with me. Like, so yeah, that's heavily relatable to that for sure. So I do not regret my transition. Shocking, I know. That was like a really great time for me in the beginning. I really was able to explore and express myself in ways that I could not have done without hormones and surgery. I learned so much about how people treat people based on gender and looks in general. I feel like I would not be the person, especially the confidence and security that I have within myself if I didn't transition as presenting as a woman in this world. My dynamic with men in general is so much different. I mean, I was very insecure, very submissive, very quiet, and now I'm able to speak up for myself because of that.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say, during my transition, I didn't actually have a high sex drive from the hormones, and ever since I came back, my sex drive has been higher ever since, and I think it's because I'm no longer on the estrogen. My testosterone levels are increased after I changed back to being who I was originally born as, and it also kind of opened up my eyes to say, maybe I wasn't really a female. This is probably what I would like my future spouse to have, to look upon it. And I'm proud that I actually have that sex drive back again because I felt like I lost it for a long time.
The LGBTQ plus community is not as accepting as they claim.
Sorry. Okay, so the LGBTQ community is not as accepting as they claim. Oh, is everybody walking forward on this one? Because that's fucking based.
Musical chairs.
Musical chairs?
Yo, shout out. I'd hit the air horn right now, but
it's true information.
Gotta figure some
There's
shit
still
out.
so much transphobia within the people in the LGBT community.
Justifiably so, okay. Who was it? I think it was Douglas Murray who initially pointed that out, or at least that's who it gets attributed to. LGB, that should be it when it comes to sexual proclivities. It's like, okay, no other community wants to go out there and describe what did they do inside the confines of the bedroom. Like, okay, nobody else walks around going, God damn it, I'm a slapping and choking American, okay? I like to hang bitches out the window. Nobody else does that, okay? Like, there's no pegging Americans. That shit doesn't fucking happen out there. But meanwhile, the rest of them, okay, like they want to take all of their little sexual nuances. It's not even nuances. You take a look. It's like, okay, they're making it very fucking obvious. All of their proclivities, and then just make it their defining characteristic. And if you just go, that's a little degenerate. Maybe you should just go take that shit elsewhere. They just want to label you. So, no, the community, again, hey, man, that's your guys' fight. I don't ascribe to any of that fucking nonsense. That's not me. That's not me at all. You guys go ahead and you do you. It's just like the whole trans athletes and feminists. Just let them fight and enjoy the show.
That hasn't been addressed yet.
Shoot, there's transphobia within trans people.
Absolutely. When I was transitioning in high school, I searched for acceptance from the cis hetero world. And now I feel like I'm doing the opposite and searching for acceptance from my own community half the time. Like when I was in college, the queer community on my campus hated me because I did like heteronormative like guy stuff. I played lacrosse, I was in a frat, but like I wasn't that guy, I guess, that they had in their head. And every time I would go to the LGBT club meetings, I would get like they would stare into my soul like I was just this awful thing. And it's always just made me feel invisible and small in whatever space I'm in. And I find that just really disheartening.
And it happens in a lot of other cultures and communities as well too. So
it's funny that
just happens.
You mentioned like the transitioning in high school part and like that shift from searching for acceptance outside and then turning around and then having to search for acceptance within the community. Yeah. Because I did notice that when I was still living as a trans man, when I passed really well, all of a sudden it was like I wasn't welcome in these spaces anymore until they knew, and then you get that icky feeling of like you only want me here because of that.
Yeah.
And now I have the D-trans aspect where no community wants me. No one. Like I'm still part of the I'm part of the LGB part, but I've lost people that I thought they liked me for me and it didn't matter what I was.
Right.
No, they like you while you're popping. That's another thing that we're going to be seeing a lot of. And this person is just so sad, and the entire situation is just an encapsulation of what we're going to be seeing a lot of going into the future, is just a bunch of people who, yeah, it's the current thing that's right now. Oh my God, you're trans. It's so wonderful and fantastic. Dylan Mulvaney is a perfect example of that right now. That once they get usurped and they aren't the bright, shiny toy, they're like Andy, okay, with Woody from Toy Story, just drops, I don't want to play with you anymore. You're going to see a lot of people that are, big, sad, questioning. It's like, okay, well, I was getting all that attention. Now you're starting to have some regrets about some things that are just irreversible. And it's like, oh, fuck. And you're going to notice, I just needed to check how long I've been streaming for, if I want to finish that joke or if I just want to continue. Oh, 4 minutes. God damn it. 42%. 42%.
But then all of a sudden, detransitioning was the thing that I've been called a traitor.
Yeah,
I've been,
me too.
It's, they don't want me. The rest of the world doesn't want me.
That's not true. That's not true.
You can often feel that way.
No, it's 1,000% true. And like Super Spreader over in the Rumble chat, shout out to you, my man. Yeah, pointing out to that shapeshifter is apparently like a big name in the community, staunchly against trans. It's kind of like Ollie London going through all of the race stuff as well. Also, flipping over and going to, oh yeah, right, because I forget. I think he's gay. It really doesn't much matter, okay? Because he's actually, unlike Eliza Blue, doing some really good work. But then, yeah, he was transracial, and then everybody was, beating him up for that. And I was at the same time going, yay, let's just, because at heart, I'm an accelerationist. I just want all this shit to fucking finish so we can go back to kind of like the harmony that we had. We were really close to it in 2019 before everything fucking went to shit. But then also growing up, just going back and looking at the media that was there at the time, it's like, yeah, you could see some problems with it. But in general, like, the world was a much better place back in the late 90s, early 2000s, all the way up until... You could argue the Obama administration. I would say that that's probably where it peaked, but you could start to poke some holes in the Bush administration. Like, there was a lot of tensions at that time, but things were a hell of a lot better than they are now. Oh, right, yeah, but yeah, Ollie London doing that stuff, documenting. I forget where I was at, but yeah. This is going to have to be a battle that is fought within the confines of the alphabet community. And if there is going to be a bifurcation where you're going to have the LGB part of it, and then you're just going to have the T+, okay, all of that stuff as well. That'll be about the best that we can hope for, because there's going to be a lot of sad fucking stories that are going to be going on here, and that is absolutely atrocious. I see a couple of super chats, and yo, what the fuck? $20 from Jen. Shout out to you, Jen. You're always here on Saturday night. I really appreciate it, and man, that's fucking fantastic. Appreciate all your hard work. Doesn't go unnoticed, my friend. Shout out to you. Thank you very, very much. Keep fighting the good fight. P.S. I don't know how to super chat on Rumble, so I'm stuck giving my coin. That's what I want to know between, okay, to Ed and to you, Jen. Okay, if you guys need help... If you guys have Twitter or something like that, like, I can walk you through it over there. YouTube doesn't have a way to, like, easily communicate behind the scenes when it comes to that stuff, and neither does Rumble either. But if you guys need help just getting set up over on Rumble, because there's so much good shit that's over there, okay? Like, the chat functionality when it comes to apps and shit like that, it's a little bit lacking if you have an Android, superior Android, by the way. Yeah, there. On the app on Rumble for Android, the functionality's a bit borked, but if it improves, that'll be fantastic. The only way that you can, I think, if you go through the browser on that, there is a way to donate over on Rumble through that, but hey man, I'm just happy everybody's here, man. Like, actually, I'm very gay about everybody being here right now. Gay in the royal sense, if you will. And yeah, once again, like record turnout and shit like that. I really do appreciate it, and especially everybody, like, seeing all the regular faces, the people that I've come to know and interact with on a 3 times a week basis. Tomorrow I'll figure out something. We'll go exclusively on Rumble. So if you guys need a helping hand, getting up over there, just let me know, and I'll try to walk you through so you guys can get an account and you guys can hop in the chat, because ultimately I would love to say all the spicy things that are running through my head right now when it comes to this, even if it is just juvenile and even if it is ad hominem attacks. I just don't want to be shackled by YouTube, okay? But we still have so much more to go on that one. That was just a little aside. And then, of course, as always, shout out to my great benefactor, Ed, for I seen you with the 5 there a little bit earlier. So, yeah, shout out to you guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
But it feels really isolating. Like, this is not a club.
It's not a
club.
club.
And it's not like a personality trait that I'm just taking up, and God forbid one day I change my mind. I won't, but like, or something happens where I have to detransition. I would hope that the people who stood by my side through everything else would still be there for me because of who I am, period. And not because of an effing label over my head.
And even when I transitioned, I dealt with the traitor to everyone. It was, you know, oh, you want to be a man and the patriarchy. And I'm just like, I get it. But also, but what I found very interesting was like this divide between trans men and trans women. When I first started doing a lot of advocacy, I was told that just being in the space, that I was taking up too much room, that I was taking up too much space and don't speak and all of these things. And I was like, wait a minute, but I'm trans too, right? This community also belongs to us too. Right. So that was something that I grappled with for a while.
I hung out with a lot of gay women, and then when I transitioned, I definitely lost my space there, and that was like really hard for me to navigate because being shunned out of these female spaces for me was really hard and difficult. And then when I got to the trans male community, there was a lot of competition. Who looked the best, who passed the best, like that was very difficult. Shoot, fortunately I have a full beard, so it's like an easy, like, you know what I mean? Like, but still, like I heavily resonate with trans men still, and I definitely resonate with trans women from detransitioning and gender non-conforming people. So it's like, where do I belong?
Weird position to be in, because it's like one community, like I said, doesn't really want you, but you don't fit in. You can't really go all the way back, so you don't fit in with the rest of them.
We just shouldn't have to categorize. Like, we shouldn't have to float around, wonder where we belong. Like,
we have the other detransitioners, but even then, we're all still vastly different individuals who have vastly different life experience, political views, religious beliefs.
Right.
You know,
experience how we transition.
Experience how we treat that community. Right. In some ways, it's empowering because it feels like even though all this happened, you're being seen as an individual for almost the first time after, spending my high school years being lumped in by both the LGBT community and the rest of the people in a category. But it's also very isolating because you don't have really that community support that other places get.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you guys so much.
Done on that. Again, Jubilee, they did some real. Yo, man, that fucking dude in the background is huge. The big chick that's over there. But, oh shit, what was I gonna say? Oh, right, yeah, Jubilee does some really creepy woke shit. I'll pose this to a question in both chats because that's what I want to do here because I still got, I can go for about another half an hour or so. If you guys are cool with that, like, I'll keep it fucking rolling until top of the hour here. I think that'll be fine and fun. But specifically, do you guys want to do another short Jubilee video? Or do we want to take a look at what's his nuts there? Samantha Lux's YouTube channel and watch a couple of those and just see how absolutely cringe that is? Because I think that could be, that one could be hit or miss. That one could be hit or miss, or if Jubilee has another goofy super woke video. I pose that as a question to you because I'll go for another half hour. That's for true. Or if you guys have any questions or anything like that, like I'm totally open to that as well. So. Just put it on the camera here for a second. Yeah, take off these fucking headphones because, woofda, it's it's middle of April. I think according to my lovely little computer temperature gimmick, it's only 13 degrees Celsius up here in Canada. So what would that be, like 50 something like that in Fahrenheit? Like the little DKS studios right here. Is getting a little hot. So this summer, you might not be seeing that door. I might be taking that bitch off because holy fucking, you might hear a little bit of a whiz of a fan when we continue to do this over the summer. But holy fuck, it's hot as shit. Yeah. Yo, and super spread. I'm trying to go back and forth with super spreaders and Rumble here, but if you're worried about, Struck on YouTube, of course, across the two different channels that I've had before, okay, on the main channel, I have fought in one, and, not trying to, wish anything into existence right here. I think it's I think it's split, or maybe it's a 1-over for YouTube, but I've caught, how many different suspensions? I think I've been out of the game 4 different times, So that would mean losing 5 strikes because I got the warning in 2021 in April. Not April. Was it April? No, it was February of 2021. And then in quick succession, I got a 2-fer. I won 1 of them. And then it was pretty good through the end of the year as well. It's pretty good at the end of the year over there. And then, yeah, caught a couple more. I won one strike. And then, yeah, I had a second channel where if you're over on Rumble anyways, you're going to notice there's a pink, or not pink, sorry, I'm not like that, purple icon up in the other corner. That's my old health content. That entire channel, check this out if you're new around here, okay? That was a channel, I didn't swear. I think I might have said fuck or shit. Maybe bitch was about the strongest that I got over there. Once or twice. But that was a channel where it was just that kind of going on. I was just doing, you know, vitamins, minerals. It's stuff that I like to talk about, especially from my old life back when I was strictly a certified personal trainer. Going back and forth, you know, just taking a look at vitamins, minerals, different lifting techniques. Like, just shit that was fun over there. But then when it's like all of the vaccine stuff started to come around and started to do some things, and then of course you got to cite your sources, you got to appeal to authority by including CDC, WHO, all the different accredited sources, okay? And then what was it, 5 different strikes? Because it was interesting, because I caught 2 to begin with. I won those 2 appeals, and then in quick succession it was got my warning, and then I got a 1 strike, and that's like, oh, that's big gay. And then I think I had a little bit of time off, then caught another strike. And then 2 or 3 weeks ago, they just decided, yeah, we need to get rid of your channel. Fucking what? Still haven't got an explanation. Still haven't heard back from YouTube on that one. So fucking gay. But I see Ed's got something to say. And I need to address this specifically because, hey, we got a little time before we go out there. So you can donate, that's out there. Let's take, now I'm pissed at Rumble because now it's telling me that either my username or password is invalid. Interesting. Let me see. As long as he isn't wearing a Speedo. But you know what, Meme? You keep talking like that, we're going to have a Speedo stream, okay? I was threatening to do a hot tub stream over on Locals, but hey, man, it might be a Speedo stream too. Wow, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm back in the cut on that one for sure. Holy crap, man. Yeah, they got hard. Oh, yo, you want to check one of my personal favorite, my go-to. Well, actually, my warning's pretty bad as well. The video that got struck for a warning on, it was like a 9-minute long video over describing all of the patents that Bill Gates has in regards to the vaccine. That's it. Not saying anything about the vaccine or anything like that. Just saying it's kind of funny. He's got all of these patents gone like that. That's my warning I get to look at in the background of YouTube. But then, yes, my favorite, my go-to, and I've told this story a bunch of different times, but we're on stream when it comes to this one. So that one specifically, it was like a 24 minute long video. It was all of the different legislation that was going on at the time. You remember when Texas dropped the mask mandate and Joe Biden said, hey man, that's dangerous stuff, man. You and your Neanderthal thinking, that's just going to get people killed. And then a couple of days later, it's like, oh, cases are down. Oh, hospitalizations are down. Well, it really looked like that didn't make much of a difference. And you know what? In that 24-minute long video, when I was just detailing all of the different legislations in regards to election integrity, got hit for medical misinformation. That was the only line, anything related to medical, that was in there, and I caught a ban for that, and that video's gone. Oh, God. I would love to see that. I would love to see all of the YouTube numbers completely go down to 0. Everybody go over and party on Rumble, but I need to get Ed the hookup and I need to get Jen the hookup. Okay, so yeah, we'll figure that out as well. Yeah, YouTube is big fucking gay, and we're past the 2-hour mark on that one. So yeah, exactly. You know what? Okay, yeah. Oh my God, yeah. This is happening everywhere. Atheism is unstoppable. Was taken off of Patreon, and no legitimate was given. Oh yeah, and also my Patreon account. Hilarious. Yeah. I wasn't even the one that I was using back in the day. Like, I just started up, like, okay, I just needed to make sure that, like, my name, if I ever needed a Patreon for whatever fucking reason, I put it up over there, and then within 24 hours, it was, because of suspicious activity, we are, putting your account on cancellation or some shit like that, and it's like, I haven't even used it. Whatever. Thank God for Locals. Okay, thank God for Locals, but, yeah. Goddamn right. Yeah, Bill Gates needs to, put on a bra. Yo, man, Like, there's that meme that's out there when it comes to excess levels of estrogen in a guy's body where they just kind of they have the aesthetic appearance of the old potato experiment that you could do in chemistry where you just put it on, toothpicks. Yeah, you got the bulbous potato that's right there. Yeah, just with little sprouts there as well. He's got a weird shape. Billionaire, fantastic at adopting different technologies in order to resell them and make billions of dollars. Bill Gates is great at a lot of things. Being an aesthetic specimen, the best left up to the professionals. Wouldn't it be even correct? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Bill Gates. Yeah. Actually, Bill Gates is fairly apropos. But what do we got though? Yeah, let's take over only. Exactly, man. Yeah, take over OnlyFans, 1 inch at a time. Exactly. Holy. Ed, is that you? Yeah, locals is where it's at. I need to figure out what the fuck to do over there because my main man George, who's over in the Rumble chat, is like, yo man, you got. Before I even do anything, that's why I really, what we're building over here, especially, I love to see people just interacting in the chat. That's ultimately what I want to grow over here because a group of like-minded individuals, like even just me growing up, trying to meet people that were on my same wavelength. I think like one guy ever, and I met him in college. Like growing up, there was just a bunch of blue-pilled simps that were out there, and man, it's really tough to find anybody on that same wavelength. But to see an entire group of people in the chat discuss all of these ideas, it's fantastic to see. And that's why I do this stuff, because I want to put the good information that's out there. Because I see a lot of headline readers, a lot of guys that just go, "Wow, that's wild. All right, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and share the video around, and we'll catch you in the next one." I see a gap in the space, and you know what? Hey, you guys are receptive to this, so I'm just trying to fill it. So enough modeling, and I think I'm going to, at least in the background, pull up this Samantha Lux channel, or I'm going to peruse Jubilee here real quick and figure out if there's anything that's, watch that one as well. So let's take a look here. Okay. Or, yeah, because there's another panel that I'm looking to do in the future as well. That one could be fun. Ooh, that could be good. How about, okay, okay. So there's the, yeah, I like that one. Okay, everyone is racist. Okay. Right. Oof. No, that's enough of that shit. That's interesting. My medication, Sam Smith. Should I do former gang? Like, what's their highest performing video? Popular. Swiping 30 girls. Scientist. Yeah, that's the one that I want to watch. I think we might do that one tomorrow over on Rumble. There's a Flat Earthers versus Scientists video. I think that shit would be funny as fuck. Who's a virgin? Yo, what the fuck? Okay. Who is a okay. Okay. Who has not ordered? Yeah, I don't really care about that. Okay. So I will pose this to you guys. In the chat, because I found 2 different videos. They're like 10-15 minutes per. Okay, I'll just go back to the capture here for a second. Do we want to go? Okay, because we're past 2 hours now. We can get really fucking hilarious. Okay, do we want to go with, okay, who is not plus size? So figuring out who the fat piece of shit is. That one could be fun. Or there's another video of who is not a virgin. I just want to see who wants to cope the hardest. So it's either between that. So we'll go one for the fatties, or I could do, no, because I want to include Rumble on this one. 1 for the fatties, 2 for the virgins. 1 for the fatties, 2 for the virgins. I will leave that up to you guys to decide. That's how we'll close it out for the evening. We will watch one of those. Trying to figure out why I sucked with women. Oh, what's up, Crazy? Yo, good to see you back in the chat, man. Appreciate that. So what we got? 2 for the Virgin. Okay, so we got Ed over here. Okay, good. Oh, thank God you got over on Rumble. 2. Okay, we got 2s over there. See what we got over here on YouTube. Okay, 2s. George, and we got Ed. All right. So we started out by dissecting game, and we're gonna end with dissecting game. Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. Okay, so let's run that back. Where the fuck did I find that? I was under popular. And we got, who is the virgin? 6 non-virgins and 1 secret virgin. Odd man out. Let's make sure. Did I miss anybody? Nope. All sounds like, 1 or 2. I'll watch either. I'm not all that particular. Good content. Yeah. Because Gavin McKinnon. Okay, Gavin McInnes is fucking hilarious. I remember the first time I seen, just side note before we get into the who is the virgin thing. I haven't watched him lately, but I appreciate what he does. And I think that he's Omega based on a bunch of different things. I'm a big Gavin guy, but the first time that I seen him was actually back when Anthony Cumia started up Compound Media. What was that, in 2014? Back when he was doing it back at his house in the bar, and Gavin was one of his first in-person guests. Ever since I knew him, like, for the better part of 10 years now, I've definitely been a Gavin fan. Used to be subscribed to Compound Media, but I still think Anthony Cumia is the funniest guy to ever be in front of a microphone on a consistent basis, and I don't think anybody can dissuade me on that one. There are funnier people that are out there, but when it comes to actually funny people on this day in and day out, all of those old Opie and Anthony clips I go back to every once in a while, and I still laugh my fucking balls off at the shit that Anthony says. It's like, he's the best. He is 100% the best. But without further ado, I think we've got a consensus on this one. So, who is the virgin? This could be fun. It's going to be fun.
What's up, good humans? Welcome to another episode. This is the show Odd Man Out, where your judgments are thrown out the window for the rules at the end. The rules at the end.
Enjoy the episode.
Does anyone have a name for their genitalia?
Who?
What do you call yours? What do you call?
Okay, I have interesting. Okay, do you think? No. First and foremost, no. Why the? Like, you could have little pet names for it, but that's fucking weird.
Oh, yours. Harris.
Okay, especially that's like a dog. That's a dog's name.
We brought together 7 non-virgins.
I am not a virgin.
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 1 is a liar. If the group discovers who the liar is, they'll split a cash prize. If the liar survives, he or she wins the entire prize.
Okay, guys. I say we just start asking questions and everyone answers.
I agree. Does anyone have a name for their genitalia?
Who?
My initial thought was Sean. He seemed too confident, too talkative.
Let's go around the circle.
All right.
Let's figure it out.
No. I feel like this isn't a good use of our time.
That's not a good
Okay, let's try this.
What do you call yours? Harris.
Okay, Harris. Okay, when did everyone lose their virginity? Age?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
19.
12.
Hold on.
12? Yeah.
Oh, because you guys are here, maybe I'll give everybody a little bit of a bonus. I'll answer all of the questions there along at the same time. How about that? Okay, a little self-deprecation on this one, shall we? Well, it's not really self-deprecation as much as just being patently fucking obvious, and maybe we'll have some laughs at myself. Fuck it. I don't really care. It's like, I am who I am.
Okay, let's try this.
What do you call yours? Harris.
What do I call my dick? My dick.
Okay, Harris. Okay, when did everyone lose their virginity?
17. 17.
Age?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
19.
12.
Hold on.
That's not... Okay, yeah, we're past 2 hours? We're past 2 hours? Yeah, we're past 2 hours. That's surprisingly not that's a little young. Normally, I've heard some people, some of the more, girls who need more of the Bible read to them. There we go. That would say something like, yeah, the first thing that I did was like at 13, but then, you know, I've always been like, you know, kissing or something like that at a younger age with other girls. It's like, you're a freak. Nope. Go. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, it was on MySpace.
what?
Yeah. It was on MySpace.
What? On what? Okay. It's weird. If you guys are of a certain age, you might remember old Yahoo. Yahoo had all of those games. I forget. The one that everybody played at the time was Pool. Like Yahoo Pool was so much fun. It had a little chat bar on the side, and I got pretty good at that stuff. It had the ruler and shit. Like what the fuck was I? That was when we first had dial-up. Playing that shit on dial-up. Yo, man, that takes me back. But that was so much fun back in the day. Anyways, yeah. During that time, you could have your different profile pictures and shit. And I just had a generic one because the fuck was I? I can try to time it, but like at 10, 11, something like that. That was the first time I seen a pair of titties. Mostly because I remember that as well, because one of the guys, we'd play fairly consistently. He was on my friends list and whatever. His account, it was something like Beaver Lover or some shit. Classic early 2000s screen name, but he had all of the pictures in his Yahoo account, okay, about all of the titties, and the best thing, I think his little byline, the best thing in the world is vagina. It was something asinine like that, but I would never say that was the first time I lost my virginity was on Yahoo Pool. Oh my god, they bet me over the table. It's a terrible thing.
We don't have time for the story.
Okay. I feel like everyone wanted to control the situation. We weren't getting anywhere. When was the last time you guys had sex?
2 days ago. 3 days.
Last night.
Okay, like I said before, I'm just gonna, I'll plead the fifth on certain things. So, hey, we don't need to get specific.
It's been 3 weeks.
We got nowhere.
Since April?
We've covered no
What
ground.
about you? Wait, no, you didn't answer the question.
I said recently.
Recently.
There's barely enough time to introduce ourselves, let alone vote someone out. I didn't feel like she was telling the truth, or maybe she was just nervous.
Who's the virgin? Okay, so of everybody that we've heard of so far, it's either the chick in the maroon dress or the Asian dude. No specific reason.
Good luck, you guys. I hope you made the right choice.
No, I don't think we did.
What? Natisha?
No, I trusted you.
I was shocked. I definitely thought it was going to be Jonathan or Emily.
I don't think at first glance I look like a virgin.
If everyone feels confident that you already caught the mole, you can end the game now. Raise your hand if you have doubt and you would like to continue the game.
Okay, so when you lost your virginity, how'd it go down?
High school, both virgins, didn't know what the hell we were doing.
What was the first letter of her first name?
J.
That was.
Oh wow, what a coincidence. Yeah, okay, fuck it. I think she had one person before me, and yeah, she still sucked.
Quick, how about you?
Okay, I'm a late bloomer, so I lost mine at 21.
Where?
I worked
That's
at a movie
fine.
theater, and he was my coworker, so kind of scandalous.
What about you? How about you?
Nothing.
Her name was Harmony, and
how'd you guys meet?
MySpace.
MySpace.
You next.
I was 14. It lasted about 2 minutes.
So I was 16.
16.
Lost to a girl named Stacy.
I think Big Man might be capping. He might be my new pick right there.
Stacy.
In the back of my Volvo.
I was also a late bloomer. I believe I was in college.
And how did you lose it? Like, where was it at?
In my apartment/dorm. It wasn't. I lived off.
Very questionable.
I lived off
Okay,
campus, so not a dorm.
How many people have you slept with?
Oh gosh.
Body count time.
Body count.
Under 10.
It's the virgin thing, not the body count one.
We're just trying to figure it out. We're just trying.
Just a tip for both guys and girls. Okay, if a guy ever asks a girl what her body count is, she's never going to give you a straight answer, okay? But there are different things that you can do in order to tell. Like, you can get an approximation, but there are hotels for a reason. If you pick up on any hotels, you take her to a motel because that bitch fucking. But for a guy to reveal his body count, it's never, ever, ever going to be beneficial. And I think Memetic probably knows where I'm going on this one. Shout out Rolo Tomasi. It is always used as a shit test because it's either going to be too high or too low for the girl. It is never in your best interest to do that. All you need to do is just play it off with a bit of humor and just move on from the topic. Oh, so what's your body count? Today? Oh, yeah. Since I've met you, Only one. That's always the best way to approach it, because it's either going to be something that's going to be used against you in the future, or it's just going to be a point of insecurity for the other partner. So, nobody who ever has game ever asks that question. You have, like, women just intrinsically have better social acuity than men, so they're just going to be able to size up the situation. Like, they're going to know if you can fuck or you can't after, well, you know, just knowing the certain moves. Like, okay, it's always the hack thing where it's like fumbling with the bra strap, or, you know, if you're just like trying to pull off some porn moves, it's like, you'll paint the fence ain't it, bro. So just fucking figure it out from there. But yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say.
All right, so rough body count.
I know it's 3 because it's not that many between like.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Like she said, you know, she lost it and we're taking it at face value. I don't know if that's her, but I'm thinking to go with the black guy with the chain. Something's off about him. But yeah, losing your virginity at 21 and then only having a body count of 3, that's actually pretty fantastic. Just saying, like it's definitely not bad. It's super rare in today's day and age.
30 and like 70, somewhere around there.
What about you, MySpace?
Maybe 100 or something. I don't know.
Oh, nice.
Nearly 100.
I'm 25 years old. I'm an old man.
I don't know that I'd buy 100.
Look at his neck right now.
How
Look
did
at
you get this? Yeah.
this.
I think he's capping on the count, but that dude's probably fucking.
What do you want to know?
You come to this shoot with this, like,
But
but it could also
over
be a
100.
trick.
And over
where
100.
it's like,
Over 100, naming his genitals. Because he was playing the game so hard, I was like, maybe he like really did come to win, to the point of giving himself a fake hickey.
okay, so who's in a relationship?
Oh, who's in a relationship? It's complicated. Yes. Oh,
How long have you been together?
a few months.
Okay.
Few months? How long is a few months? Like 6 months?
No less.
Yeah, he's gone. He's gone.
More
He's gone.
general.
I'm gone. Oh, you do think it's me?
I just like figured to
Yeah.
maybe get rid of the guy with the pony t-shirt.
Oh, like 100%. Like, it's so obvious that it's like, yo, is it?
If it's obvious, we have to take it
I
out.
think so.
We have to remove
Honestly,
it.
though, I'm kind of flattered. I didn't
That's just a guy with a low sex drive. Okay, like we all know those guys.
want to be too defensive about like, no, I'm not a virgin, just because I'm kind of like, it's okay if you are.
What's the craziest place you guys have had sex?
I want to say like in an elevator.
Yeah. Like an obstacle course on like college campus, like one of those rope course
Damn,
things.
you went from 0 to 100.
The craziest.
The bed?
The bed. That's a great one.
Leaning with
You
two
never
teeth.
went outside the bed.
Maybe one day. Guys.
Oh, that could be like the sleeper in the dark.
It's kind of like a hive mentality. You just want to be safe and do whatever it takes.
Oh man, good luck, guys. I had a different shirt. I was told that this shirt worked fine. I feel like that may have contributed, but also maybe don't judge people by the shirts that they choose to wear.
What's everyone's favorite aspect of sex? What do you guys like the most about sex?
The way that the boobs feel like a bag of sand.
Like the
Foreplay?
ending.
That's a real
Like,
answer.
At the end of the day,
It's a real answer.
you said the foreplay?
Yeah, the foreplay's a real answer. The ending's a real answer.
I say the intimacy, the middle.
Oh, you're a lover.
So I mean, that's how. Hey, you know,
That's sweet, bro. It's like not the destination for you.
it's the
I respect
journey.
that, okay.
Exactly.
The intimacy, yeah, with someone.
Yeah, it's just like Drake influenced lover boy shit, and it's like, well, it's all about the journey. It's about the intimacy. Yeah, I can understand, but maybe he's trying to put on a front because the girls are there. But if you know what time it is, you know what time it is.
When you love, and that's who you trust and who I would want to have sex with.
And how long have you been with your current boyfriend?
6 months.
How long were you single before that?
Oh, I had another boyfriend from the movie theater, but we broke up.
That was a
And
movie
then-
theater boyfriend.
And then I had a one-night stand.
So that was
and
the
then
3.
Found
That
my
was the
current
total of
boyfriend.
3.
Yes.
Okay, I mean that's actually believable.
Yeah.
I mean that is.
Since she referenced like the
But like
movie theater
statistically,
thing.
if we eliminated her, we'd make more money. I was kind of just playing game theory at that point.
I've been the most transparent here, just saying.
We've all been
Oh,
transparent.
well,
Come on.
I'd rather be in a relationship than just have sex with anyone. Good for you, but that didn't change my mind. Yeah, we're gonna lose anyway.
Emily, which one's Emily?
In the back of my mind, I
Okay.
was stereotyping them by the way that they dressed and acted.
Jolie, yeah.
I kind of just.
Oh, I just noticed something about that Emily chick. I'm gonna run it back. Oh, just show them chompers for a second. Okay, look at that. Look at that yellow. Them teeth are looking like. That's the best that she's gonna look. She's smoking. She's partying. She for the streets.
Stereotyping them by the way that they dressed and acted.
I kind of just de facto got everybody to kick out all the introverted people because I thought it was a good game plan, but maybe I was kind of messed up.
The mole's still there. Good luck.
I don't know. You're showing discontent in the group.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think they're teaming up.
No, I want to ask you more
It looks
questions,
like a
and I want to
team
ask
up.
you more questions.
Jolie, she like winked and then forgot to open her eye back up.
I think so.
Like, yo, let's
You said
split
three in,
this bread.
hold on, you said 3 in the last 2 weeks, but
So I went to Palm Springs 2 weeks ago, and then 2 days ago, I had sex with someone.
Sean and I did team up. We just kind of like looked
Yeah, any girl that's free and open and honest about talking about sex, streets.
at each other and we're just like, okay. We kind of knew that we were safe.
I think he could potentially still be the mole.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's ask questions.
That's
Were
what
you
I'm going
religious
with.
too before you had sex?
Yeah.
So if I called your mom right now and I was like, he's had sex a few times.
That's
She probably
not
already
uncommon
thinks I
for a
do. I mean,
black
I've never told her
community,
I've had
right,
sex,
black
you know,
household.
you said you were
So,
19 when you lost?
No,
it?
16.
16, okay.
Yeah, back of the Volvo.
What color was the Volvo, by the way?
It was gold.
It was
tannish
gold? You mean like yellow?
Like tannish.
As far as the Volvo, did you have like padding in there, or was it just like,
man.
ooh, you were hurt?
Just to see. It wasn't the greatest experience. I didn't. Yeah.
What was the body part that hurt most after you finished?
It was definitely my knee because it was on like a little,
That's
the
all
little
right. That's
buckle.
all correct. That's all correct right
It
there.
was bad business, man. I'm a big guy. In the
Yeah,
back of a
no.
Volvo.
Yeah, without telling too many tales out of school, you like a Volvo is a pretty roomy vehicle, okay, especially if it's one of those old station wagons. You'll try to make it work in a Chevy Cavalier. Just throwing out a vehicle.
Okay, that's not correct.
Where was your first time?
Where?
Yeah.
It was in a bed in the guy's house that we were at, and his parents were gone.
Did you say 30 to 70, 18?
Yeah. Yep.
The math seems off.
I think if you said like,
No, girl. It's not uncommon for girls to pick up bodies like that, okay? Especially if they want to. It's easy. Okay, the classic example. A girl wants to go, it just stands in the middle of a nightclub. She can go, and she'll have a dick there in 10 seconds. It really doesn't much matter. For a guy to accumulate that type of numbers, they got to be that fucking guy. Because if they go out and they're out there and they're hard pressed and determined to get a bitch, it doesn't matter if they're in their fucking, they're in their drippiest drip. They're throwing stacks around. It is not 100% certain that they're going to walk away with some box that night. Some of the best closers that are out there, they will absolutely, top tier guys, 1 for 10, maybe. It's simply a numbers game for guys, and it's a quality game for girls. That's why if you're just throwing it around out there like that, and you're just trying to play it up like men and women are totally fine, and I could sport fight like the other, your bad decisions. Right now, they're going to come back to haunt you in the future.
Okay,
10
I'm not.
to 15.
Yeah,
I
but that's the
believe you,
truth.
but
That's up there, especially like for an 18-year-old. I'm not here to judge anybody or anything like that.
Yeah, he's a virgin.
But she could be coming in here trying to be like, I'm the coolest.
She's saying a big number. She's young. Therefore, I believe it, because if she was coming in here as the mole, she'd be like, oh, like maybe like 10. I think she's safe. And that Volvo story about your knees, that makes sense.
We haven't asked you in a while.
I'm a sex symbol.
okay, well, all right, he's good there.
We got us all in.
25, how old are you?
27.
18 with 30. I don't know, bro. Like I like numbers,
Ask me
bro.
anything.
I needed to like sway one of them. So I was thinking like Trevor was the mole. Okay, we'll just go with Emmanuel for now, but he wasn't budging.
I don't think he has a beard with like earrings and a tattoo and is a virgin.
You
I
know
don't
what?
think
He didn't throw me in the fire. It's kind of like, you know what, you're cool. You didn't throw me in. Me and Emmanuel started kind of indirectly teaming up too, like telepathically.
You think, Sean?
He brought the hickey, which is probably like a bottle cap you just put on his neck.
Oh, that's a bottle cap, bro? Tell me that's a bottle cap right now.
Can I touch
get
it
it?
to confirm?
Something. Focus. Yeah.
No.
That's a real hick. Yep.
I realized, it's kind of hard to recreate that, so I thought.
Like, he's overcompensating, but at the same time, you kind of know those guys as well, right? Like, they're just, they're all about it all the time. It's one of those, he's trying to overcompensate, but you take a look at his Rolodex of bitches, it's like, not that impressive.
Thought it was real, but I thought it was a little scripted.
I know it's not you. I'm not even gonna question that. Yeah, those numbers, bro.
It's
I'm sorry.
Not me. It's not.
I know for a fact it's
Those
not her.
numbers,
Yeah.
bro.
Honestly, I knew that Sean had my back. No matter what, it would have been 2v2.
There's been a tie. In the event of a tie, we do a revote. The two people who have tied are Jolie and Trevor.
You gotta trust me. You gotta trust me, bro. You're a smart guy. Come on, you got glasses. I can tell.
He's just corny with the way
It was
that
obvious
he
that
walks.
Sean and Jolie were gonna vote Trevor off and then try and get me off.
So there's another tie.
Can we just say that we're done? And
Yeah, can we just
think
say
the
we're
mole is
done?
out?
Yeah. I think the mole is probably out, but I was just trying to make more money, so
Raise your hand if you want to end the game.
let's just end it. I love you guys.
Okay.
If the light turns green,
So, okay. Now, before they reveal and all this stuff, which one did I watch? Oh, the one where they were all blindfolded and can he spot the black guy? Or, okay, do you know who's black? And they ended up losing. It's like that that was kind of funny, but I already know where that one goes, and it's pretty obvious which one's which. He blends in pretty well, mostly because he was adopted and was raised in a black family, but I think it's a black guy. Okay, I want to hear from you guys as well. Am I off on this one? Do you think that it's maybe the soft guy with the Abe Lincoln, or do you think that it's Captain Overcompensation? I think that the girl, she's 1,000% for the streets. Okay, Jolie's not acting cool. She's clearly the coolest to me. Yeah, no, she's definitely out there fucking. Like, that's 1,000%. Okay, so yeah. That is for true. That is for true. Oh, and for anybody that's watching on YouTube, and even still, I'm pretty sure, like right in the description of the video, yeah, if you just pull down the description on YouTube, I think it should be right at the bottom right there. Yeah, live on Rumble down at the bottom. Every video going forward, I updated the description on shit. You can just click on the rumble.com/DonConsuelo/live, and that should take you to the live stream. I'm going to see if that works specifically, because I put it in there for fuck's sake. Yeah, no, it takes you directly to the live stream. So if you guys are ever on YouTube, and I was going to cancel, or not cancel, I was going to end the stream over on YouTube, or if, like, tomorrow I'll be streaming exclusively on Rumble. Don't quite know. And don't expect, like, politics or shit like that. It might infuse over there, but it's just mostly just going to be fun and media. Like I said, might do an Attack on Titan ranking video. Holy shit, your boy's thirsty. An Attack on Titan character rating video, because I watched the show so much, it's like I got to get something back from it. So if you guys want to check that out tomorrow, I'll be going live at the same time, exclusively on Rumble. I'll probably throw some music on in the background, because that was fun as well, and I can say the F slur and the C slur and all that stuff, and it's fun as stuff. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be going for. So I think it's the black dude that's there. So yeah, and over to Rumble, it's like, yo, everybody's still cheering. White shirt hickey from his cut. You know what? That's 1,000% true. But I bet you he's still closed. Okay, so I don't know. It has to be one. Yeah, it's the brother. Okay, that's what I think. Okay, well, the black dude has the chain in the watch, so he still has money. Yeah, he still has money. I bet you he's tricking, and he's probably getting led along by some sugar baby that's out there that's constantly just putting it off into the distance. So unless he bought box, genuine burning desire is out of that guy's reach. But let's see.
You voted the liar out. If the light turns red, the mole is still in the game, and you lose.
What, bro?
God, it was him. Was it you?
It was him.
It was you, you stinky boy.
Son of a...
Damn.
Oh my.
Your boy can pick him.
Most people don't expect me to be a virgin, and unless asked, I don't say anything.
I get it. It's the game.
Survival of the fittest, so I understand.
I think he's a sociopath.
Hey, don't judge a book by its cover. You really never know.
And I was 1,000% right about her. She fucking, okay, like, come on now. And then the rest of the guys, like, overcompensation. Okay, the other guys just got lover boy game. But yeah, no, the big, just nondescript, large black dude, you would immediately think, oh yeah, he's not going to have any problems that's out there. It's funny though, guys that look like they should be getting box, if they aren't if they aren't the complete package, you're gonna get tricked out in one of those aspects. That's why being a man, you have to 1,000% be. I think the way that Justin Waller put it, okay, shout out to him. He's got the theory of the buckets that are out there, okay? Like every man has, different buckets that they need to fill up, and if you just max out when it comes to like your looks or something like that, okay? There comes to a certain point in time, a point of diminishing returns where it's just gonna pour over the top. So it's like you can only really focus so much on your looks without taking away from game or from your money or from your success that's out there, your money, muscles, game, and your frame as well. You need to constantly be filling up all of those buckets because, and then my little adaptation to that would be there's little holes in the bottom of those buckets. So you need to continue to work on all of that stuff because you might be a cunning linguist out there. You might be the sharpest on your feet. You might be the funniest motherfucker alive. But if you aren't constantly talking, if you aren't constantly sharpening the steel that is your verbal acuity, you're going to lose it. You're just going to be that guy with the fucking, you know, boomer references. Well, they're funny at some point in time. If you don't keep up with the current lingo, you're going to get left in the dust. And of course, like when it comes to your looks, it's, yeah, if you eat like shit here, if you eat like shit and you don't exercise, well, obviously it's not gonna fucking happen for you. And then yeah, some money muscles game. Yeah, so yeah, money, and then of course, like that goes without saying, if you're not earning, you're losing and you're fucking dying. So you know what? And then frame is where all of those buckets sit on. So as a guy, if you are just one of those things, that's why you're gonna find so many guys that are just jacked out of their mind at the gym. They have no idea how to approach a girl. They have no confidence at all whatsoever. They're just all posing for the mirror. Oh yeah, brother. And then all of a sudden some middling chick walks their way, gives them attention, and they just immediately start to go, oh, well, at first, oh, please, my queen. Biggest simps that are out there. The athletes, huge simps, but clout is a weird modifier where that'll just get you in the door in so many different aspects. But let's just close this out a little bit.
No.
So I'm still a virgin because I'm waiting for marriage. I grew up in the church.
Yeah, that's fine, man. You grew up in the church, okay. Like, and again, you know, that's just again generalized advice. But yeah, it's like something that I can't claim or anything like that. And most people out there just aren't brought up in the church like that and aren't looking for another virginal partner that's out there. But if you're inside the church, fantastic. This is just like my advice that I distribute, and a lot of people that I ascribe to, they're just giving you generalized advice, knowing the playing field that you're going to be approaching. But yeah, if you're a virgin and you're just waiting for marriage, there's a high likelihood that if you find that other partner, you find that other virginal partner, you're going to have a very successful marriage. So I will never discriminate against people that are doing that. So, you know, shout out to him.
Sex is a covenant between me, God, and my future wife. I just made that promise to myself and my family and to God that I would wait until marriage.
Oh. That's a lot of green.
Whoa, it's like that.
Shit.
Can I have
Get
some?
that money.
My walk of shame.
Oh, yeah.
My money walk of shame.
It's green money.
It smells like,
I'm just gonna
like paper.
Group up, come on.
She is such a hoe.
Yo, what's up, good humans? Thanks for watching. Before you comment on
Yo, that was fun. That was fun. What a great way to end the stream. Okay. So, what do we got here for a second? You know what I'll do? I'll take off these fucking headphones because, again, hot as shit. And I think I can probably, actually, yeah, I don't even need to use my phone anymore. I can take a look at what's going on over on, over on YouTube. I can at least look on my phone on this one, but it's like YouTube. I like to see the numbers over on Rumble compared to YouTube, and Ed's pointed it out as well. It's like there's a stark difference, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Do you hear the Legos? Yeah, exactly. Heading over to Rumble. I'll tell you for what. It's way better, literally. Yeah, YouTube is 10 seconds. Is it that bad over here on YouTube? Holy fuck, man. Okay. All women in churches are born again Christians. Yeah, exactly. They're just trying to, go ahead and get cleansed, because that's another one of those stupid fucking ideas now. You see it especially with Black China. Has that video been released yet? Okay, I got that up. Okay, so I got the channel stuff. So I have a video on that one actually might be in the queue. Yeah, that one's coming out. Oh yeah, she's trying to wipe away the dicks of, that have long... She's basically trying to pray away the past dicks in her relationships, and that video will eventually be coming out towards the end of the month. That one should be, but there's going to be a lot of born again hoes. Okay, they're going to try to wish for their virginity back, and that shit ain't coming back, because all of those bad habits, all of those decisions that you made way back in the day, still has consequences on the back of that. Well, you were on your back. But let's see what we got over here. I got this pulled up and everything. Yeah, Asian dude, close. It's close, but yeah, let's go. Okay, I was wrong. You watch that? George, I did not watch this before. I swear to God. Okay, even over on my personal channel, the one that I use for my own watching and shit. Never watched it before. Just when you've been in the life for as long as you have been, you can sense little tells. And of course, it's something that I like to talk about a lot. Okay, not like sex or anything like that. Yeah, she is healing. Yeah, exactly. All of those wounds of Chads and Tyrones in the past. But disseminating this information, it's just simple body language tells that's out there. It's just awkward little answers. It's like, what are you actually doing over there? Very interesting. So, yeah, once you can start pick that, yeah, okay, you goddamn right. No, yeah. I did not watch. Dr. Pi, you take that back. You take that. No. But yeah. No, and again, like, I'll open it up to you guys if you have any, questions or anything like that, or otherwise I can release everybody out into the world for the evening. But this was so much fun. The fact that, okay, between the two channels, at everything at its peak, well over 50 people turning out for this. A record for Saturday. Like, Wednesday was the big turnout as well. And, hey, the fact that, we... At no point in time was Rumble ever lower than YouTube. The moment, like, as soon as I went live on Rumble, it just, no, we're rolling. So it's fantastic to see another platform. Okay, 940 followers that are over on Rumble, okay? And that's been steadily going every single day, continue to get followers. On YouTube, on the other hand, like, I'll be stuck, or some days I'll just lose subs and then I'll gain subs. It's like recently with all of the Bud Light shit, and it's like, okay, finally taken off. Should sometime in the very near future hit 3,500, which is fantastic. But you take a look at the viewership, and I can take a look in the background here what the highest level of concurrent viewers were on YouTube, and it said 8, but okay, I'm pretty sure a bunch of different times over. Okay, so over on YouTube it was like, I'm pretty sure that I seen 15 or 16 people. Okay, like something like that. Okay, got that right there. 18 people. Okay, yeah. So at the peak it was at 18. That was at about, just before. Yeah, as we were getting to the end of the main video, that was right there. So so no, it was a good turnout. But then over, like, getting real close to 40. I think we peaked at over 40 on Wednesday. So shout out to you guys. But yeah, tomorrow will be a hell of a lot of fun over on Rumble. I think that'll be absolutely fucking great. Because I had a lot of fun just doing that, goofy ass little ranking video. So yeah, just doing that for even for the animu, for the one that's actually decent. Because when it comes to media, I'm passionate about it, but I also don't consume that much because, most of my life you guys see it in front of the camera, or I'm responding to comments, or, just chilling out in the chat with you guys here. So I think that's the case on that one. I'm just gonna do a quick buzz by over here, but it looks like everything's all copacetic, and I got some I got some real life shit that I need to take care of right now. Fucking Christ. Okay, but yeah. Yo, man, shout out to you, Dr. Pyrostein. Thanks for that, and thanks for the vote of confidence, man. Hopefully that you turn back out for that, because Saturday, Sunday, and Tuesday seems to be the days that I'm going to be going forward. And especially I like the Tuesday slot. Tuesday was fun. Sundays, just for shits and giggles. And Saturday's where I cut my teeth, and that's where everybody likes to turn out for that one. And again, just a shout out to everybody who came through on this one. Ed. Okay, you got George, you got Mimetic Militia, who you're just out there, posting all the links and shit. Shout out to you, my man. And Jen as well. Who else I see in the chat and all that shit, and especially the new ones. Yeah, like Dr. Pyrostein. Shout out to you, my man. Who else we got? Do the rundown. Yeah, we got Ed here as well. Of course. And we got George as well. Crazy Drunk Pedestrian, shout out to you again, man. Like, it's good to see you. You're just coming back, and then again. You're great. Another base con. Yeah, and Super Spreader, I seen you were in here earlier as well. Shout out to you, man. Hopefully see you back again. And what else we got in here as well? That's as far back as we go. Just give one more shout out to everybody in Mama Baby Monster. Thanks for coming through. First time that I've seen you. Hopefully it's not the last time. Lamborghini fan. Did you hear the Lego? Yeah, exactly. No, for sure. Yeah, Lamborghini. I know I've seen you in here before, my man. So shout out to you. Oh, it's CDR. CD Punch Drunk. Seen you in here before, but yeah. No, it's good to see you around here again, for sure, man. Yeah. So, I think I pretty much got everybody. And then, of course, for Ed and for Jen, thank you very, very much for support. It's much appreciated, okay? It's definitely very, very appreciated. So if you guys enjoyed all that stuff, and I don't know why the number continues to go up, but that's I think that's about it for the day. So with all of that said, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.